Now, Connor Bedard, you're supposed to be the face of the Chicago Blackhawks. They're supposed to build their entire franchise around you, and you're supposed to lead them to multiple Stanley Cups. You're an 87 overall at 19 years old. You got medium franchise potential, but there's one problem with you winning them a Stanley Cup. They haven't given you a team yet. They have done absolutely nothing to surround you with competent players. A couple young guys have jumped into the lineup. Frank Nazar looked not too bad last season. Ryan Donato was a decent enough piece, but he is 28 years old, so he doesn't really fit the timeline. Chicago, what are you doing? You did absolutely nothing over the offseason. You could have thrown a bag at Ehlers. You could have thrown a bag at Brock Besser, even a bag at Mitch Marner. What did you do instead? You bought out TJ Brody. That's it. Other than buying out TJ Brody, this is basically the exact same team, except Alec Martinez won't be there and Patrick Maroon won't be there because both of them are going to be retiring. But this Chicago Blackhawks team right here is supposed to be looking at Stanley Cups. Connor Bedard, you have nothing around you right now. However, I'm going to change that. I'm going to be taking over the Chicago Blackhawks for the rest of Connor Bedard's career, and I'm going to give him the career that he deserves. But the first thing we have to do here is simulate the 2024-2025 season, because yeah, I'm not sitting through this season with the Chicago Blackhawks. This team's going to be a dumpster fire, and we all know it. And then what's going to happen is we're going to be the worst team in the entire league, and then drop from the first overall pick to the third overall pick, because I'm managing the team, and nothing else would happen other than that. So yeah, I think I've done enough yapping here. Let's dive into this. Now, you know what? This was actually the best season that I could have asked for. So we're third in the entire league, a 31, 44, and 7. Like, the Philadelphia Flyers are in the absolute trenches, but Connor Bedard's up to a 95 overall. That is perfect. We're basically just beginning this video, and Connor Bedard's already up to a 95 overall. That's exactly what we need. Ryan Donato is 66 points, 16 goals, 50 helpers. He's an 85 overall. I do believe we have to give him an extension though. Frank Nazar, he's not looking too bad. He's up to an 85 as well. I think him and Connor Bedard on that top line are going to be working magic together. When it comes to goaltending, Spencer Knight, I can't really blame you here. You have nothing in front of you. Okay, what am I looking at? Like, there's so many problems here. Number one, Vancouver sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Final. Number two, the Detroit Red Wings made it to the conference finals. Number three, the Buffalo Sabres made the playoffs. Number four, the Buffalo Sabres took down the Florida Panthers in the first round. There is so many things wrong with this picture right here. Even the Ducks making the playoffs. Like, what are we doing here? So yeah, safe to say it was a wild postseason. But you know what? We don't care about the postseason. We just care about the draft lottery, where Chicago's going to be dropping from 3 to 5. I shouldn't be surprised at that in the slightest. We're going to be dropping in the draft. It's just stick on the ice tradition to be dropping in the draft. And you know what else is stick on the ice tradition? Me asking you to subscribe to the channel, because we're trying to hit 86K by the end of the month. So what are you doing? Hit the button down below right now. You're clearly enjoying the content because you're still watching, so you might as well be subscribed. Now, I think I'm just going to keep things pretty simple here. We're going to simulate up to the 5th overall pick. Matthew Schaefer's actually going to be dropping to the 2nd overall pick, so he's not going to be going 1st overall. But with the 5th overall pick, I think I'm just going to go with the guy that Chicago actually drafted in real life here. So we're going to be passing up on Michael Misa, and we're going to be drafting a guy who's projected 13th. That's not right, but Frondell, welcome to the team. 74 overall with medium league potential. You're the guy Chicago drafted in the first round, so that's who I'm going to go with here. Now, when it comes to the 25th overall pick, normally I would go with Zach Morin here because he has low franchise potential, but we need to address the elephant in the room, which is Zach Morin not even getting drafted. NHL 25 has him having low franchise potential. He goes undrafted. Safe to say they missed the mark on that one. But I think we're going to go with Ludwig Johnson here. He's a good defenseman. He's probably going to develop for us. Medium top 4D potential, starting off as a 70 overall. That works for me. And then when it comes to the 35th overall pick, we're just going to keep on getting steals here. Josh Ravensburg is available. I know he doesn't have medium franchise potential, but he has medium elite potential. So maybe he could be our starting goaltender in the future. I mean, we do have Spencer Knight, but you never know who's going to develop in time. While we're at it, I guess we also could bring in Jack Ivankovic, and then we would have 2 medium elite potential goaltenders. But you know what? We're actually going to pass up on him, and Justin Carbonneau is going to be brought to the team, a future St. Louis Blues legend if he plays his cards right. Low top 6 potential? That just doesn't seem right. Also, Jack Ivankovic is still available here, so yeah, we might as well select him as well. So we've brought in 2 medium elite potential goaltenders, a handful of great pieces outside of that. I think we're in a really good spot. Now, you know what we haven't done? Drafted enough goaltenders in this first season, so now we're going to draft another one, a medium elite potential goaltender who's also a gem, 186th overall. If 2 medium elite potential goaltenders weren't enough, now we're bringing in 3. And then to finish this incredible draft off, a low elite potential player selected in the 7th round, starting off as a 55 overall isn't too bad. He has some decent numbers playing in juniors, or I'm assuming he's playing in juniors. Never mind, he's actually in the US development system. This guy actually could turn into something, so we'll have to remember Rodney Tierney. Kearney might be a superstar and we just don't know it yet. Now we have $34 million to work with when it comes to cap space. Ryan Donato, I would like to bring you back to the team. It has to be at the right price, and you know what? This is the right price. So we'll do 4.9 for the next 4 seasons. That's a really good deal for you, and when we want to move on from you in the future, we're going to be able to do so. Alec Martinez, you retired on me, so I'm just going to let you walk. Patty Maroon, you retired as well, so I'm going to let you walk. Kurashev, unless we can do under 2 million, you're probably not coming back. And you know what? 1.4 for the next 2 years wouldn't be bad, but I think we'll just do 1.4 for 1 season. So Kurashev's going to be returning. Wyatt Kaiser, I don't know how much money you're going to be looking for. Hopefully it's not too much. $1 million for 1 season. Can we do a 2-way contract with you? You're not interested in a 2-way contract. I'll just do 2 years at 1.1 million. So Wyatt Kaiser is going to be coming back to the team. And then outside that, I'm just going to give a handful of these guys 2-way contracts, and then we're probably done making moves. I mean, I guess I shouldn't forget about this one. Soderblom, 1.35 for the next 2. Oh yeah, by the way, Ryan Donato rejected the last offer I gave him. So now we're going to do $5 million for the next 4. I think this is about 100K more than what I offered him last time, but I don't see why he would say no to this one. Yeah, the extra 100K made the difference. Now it's time for us to throw out some absolute bags. Guys like Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar are looking for contract extensions, and how much is Bedard going to want? Significantly less than I thought it would be. So we're going to do 7 years at probably 9.4 million. Actually, I'll just give him 9.5 to make things simple. Actually, I take that back. Connor Bedard, I want to build this team around you, so I'm going to be respectful and give you exactly what you're asking for. 9.7 for the next 7 years. Frank Nazar, how much are you looking for? Yeah, we can certainly do something like this. We'll do $4 million for the next 4, a nice little 4x4 with him. Jason Dickinson, I'm going to be honest, you're probably going to be traded here. TJ Brody, you're probably going to be traded as well. Nick Foligno, we're just going to ride out your contract. Kevin Korchinski, we got to give you a bag though. But I'd like to do longer than 2 years here. How about we do 3 years at 5.3 million? I don't really know how interested you are in 3 years, but I'd like to give you that contract. Connor Murphy, you're probably going to be walking. I might even trade you away. Mikheyev, you're not going to be returning to the team. I'm not going to lie. A lot of these players aren't going to be returning. But you know what? That's not the end of the world. One guy that we definitely have to bring back is Spencer Knight. $6 million for the next 2. I'll give you 5.5. Like, we don't really have a defense in front of you quite yet, but we do have a lot of cap space. I think 5.5 is pretty fair for you. However, this is where the big moves are about to happen. We're going to free agency. Is Mitch Marner available? No, he isn't. But Ehlers is available. But he also wants $12 million, and I'm not doing that. Is there any UFAs here that are actually looking to sign a reasonable deal that would make sense with our team? I don't think so. Unless 40-year-old Brett Burns makes sense, but I just don't think he does. Like, if I'm being completely honest here, I don't think any of these free agents make sense for us. Jack Roslovic might make a little bit of sense, though. Like, I could do $3.1 million for the next 2 years with Jack Roslovic. He can play some top 6 minutes. He's only 28 years old. He at least fits the timeline, sort of. Just want to point out, Gavrikov in real life signed for like $7 million. We can bring him to the team for 2.9. I'm going to bring him to the team for 2.9 million just because I think that would be funny. And I think the last bag we're going to hand out here is Anthony Mantha, 3 years at 2.75 million. It's a cheap enough contract. Maybe he'll play some top 6 minutes. I doubt it. More than likely he's going to be a bottom 6 guy, but at that price tag, I'm perfectly fine with it. So now we've handed out some free agent contracts. Let's try to make a trade or two. Now, why on earth would the Boston Bruins be interested in these 2 players, TJ Brody and Jason Dickinson? I have no clue. But Casey Milstead on the top line alongside Bedard is actually very interesting, especially since he just had 59 assists. So we're going to make this trade right here. More than likely, we're going to have to throw a couple draft picks in the deal. That's no surprise. But what are those draft picks going to be? Obviously lucrative 7th round picks, but we don't have a 2026 7th round pick, but we do have a 2027 one. So we'll throw these 2 draft picks in the deal. That's not going to be quite enough. I guess I can give you Toronto's 2nd round pick, and that will be the difference. So Casey Milstead, welcome to the team. You and Bedard alongside Frank Nazar on the top line. I think that's a good start. All right, now realistically, we don't need this many mediumly potential goaltenders. So I'm going to trade the one that was a gem. He's a 47 overall at 17 years old. Do I want to give up on him that quickly though? I mean, we have Ravensburg. We have Jack Ivankovic. I think we should be fine in the goaltending department. I don't think we need all of these goaltenders. So I'm going to trade the gem away alongside Joe Veleno and Connor Murphy. We're bringing in Denton Mateychuk. He can play some defensive minutes. We're also bringing in Chinikov to play some top 6 minutes for us. It's a sweet proposal on the Columbus Blue Jackets end, but I think it's better on ours. So I've actually circled back to free agency so we can make one more deal. Jacob Bernard Docker, 2.5 for the next 2 years. You're likely going to play some 3rd pairing minutes, potentially some 2nd pairing minutes. I haven't really decided quite yet. Nah, Gavrikov, you're an L-Mans for that. You gotta join the team. What are you doing? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This is interesting. We don't really need a goaltender here, but I'm intrigued by the offer. Ryan Donato, Nick Foligno, a 3rd and 4th rounder for Lucas Dostal and 2 second-round picks. Those second rounders could be decently valuable. Lucas Dostal is a good young goaltender. Explain to me why I shouldn't do this deal, because I think we get a better goaltender here. We can then trade Spencer Knight along with one of these second-round picks and probably get an upgrade when it comes to Ryan Donato. I like this deal. We're actually going to do this deal with the Anaheim Ducks. I'm surprised they offered it. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know why you would make that deal. So we have our goaltender for the future in Lucas Dostal. We don't really need Spencer Knight anymore. He still has a little bit of trade value. I'll package him up with one of those second rounders and we'll see what we can get. Because those Ducks second round picks have some value. So we actually might be way better off here. Okay, so I think if you actually break down this trade and now turn it into a 3-team trade, we traded Ryan Donato, Nick Foligno, a 4th rounder and a 3rd rounder. We're going to be walking away with Lucas Dostal, Riker Evans, and Capo Caco. We won this deal. We won all of those trades. We are better across the board. I'm not saying we're going to make the playoffs, but we're going to compete. Also, we got to throw a bag to somebody in free agency just so we can reach the salary cap floor here. Jamie Benn, do you want $15 million? I don't really know what we do here. Who is a very expensive player in the NHL that nobody really wants that we could take on? Now, this will certainly help us reach the salary cap floor. Lucas Reichel and Del Mastro, along with the 6th round picks, going to be sent over to Montreal. Patrick Laine at $8.7 million. That's all the cap that we need here. He's going to be a good player on the second line. I'll throw in our 7th round pick for 2027. That's probably all we need here. They need more picks than that. I'm not gonna lie, you're kind of wildin'. Like, I think trade value wise, we're definitely offering more than enough here. They need a 3rd round pick, I guess. So here's Chicago's 3rd round pick for 2026. Just accept the deal. We've reached the salary cap floor. We should be good now. Now, I'm kind of hoping that we can re-sign Patrick Laine in a pretty reasonable deal here. And you know what? This will be reasonable. We're going to be doing sub $6 million, 5.7 for the next 3. We're going to be locking him down until he's about 31 years old. I can certainly live with that. And then when it comes to Chinikov, I'd like to keep him on the team as well. I think we will be able to do that. How does 3.9 for the next 4 sound with you? Like, I'll give you a modified no trade clause in the final 2 years, 50% team protection. That'll help us keep you around with that cheap price. Now, I'm pretty impressed in how quick I turned the Chicago Blackhawks team around. Capo Caco, Bedard, and Casey Milstead on the top line, Teuvo Vinen, Frank Nazar, and Patrick Laine on the second line. The bottom 6 is actually looking way better here. I don't think we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup, but I do think there is a chance this team could actually see the postseason. Lucas Dostal, you're a number 1 for the future. You're getting paid 7.9 for the next 6. You better live up to that contract. Now, in reality, I still don't know why the Ducks offered us that trade. Like, we really turned a 4th rounder, a 5th rounder, Nick Foligno, Ryan Donato, and Spencer Knight into Lucas Dostal, Riker Evans, and Capo Caco. It's just not fair. Last season, we were the 3rd last team in the entire league. Now we're 5th in the entire league with a 35-20-9 record. We've completely turned this team around. The offense still isn't elite and the defense isn't elite, but they've taken massive steps in the right direction. Connor Bedard, 73 points, including 43 goals. Casey Milstad's an absolute superstar on that top line. Capo Caco's looking pretty solid on that top line. I think we have our top line for the future. I think these 3 guys can be elite together. Lev Shanov, 50 points. Teuvo Teravainen, 45 points. Patrick Laine, 44. We got ourselves a team here. We're going to slowly work on the bottom 6 for the future, but we have to remember a lot of the guys in this team are incredibly young. Lucas Dostal, 25 wins at 25 years old, 3 shows, a 904 and a 298. He's still an 85 overall, but you know what? It's not about winning a Stanley Cup this season, and truthfully, it's not even about winning a Stanley Cup next season. We're looking 3-4 years from now, so I don't think it makes sense for us to be buying at the trade deadline quite yet. Unless we can find somebody that fits the timeline here and would help right now, I don't think we make a trade. I mean, I guess I can inquire with Edmonton about Evan Bouchard, because if we could pull off a deal, I wouldn't be against it. I just think his trade value is going to be way too high. Yeah, we're not getting that done. So after looking at what we have for assets here, we're not going to try to rush the process here. We're going to trust in the process, and we're going to win some Stanley Cups in the future, but probably not quite yet. I mean, if we win this season, I'm not against it. I just don't expect it. Now, after the trade deadline, the Blackhawks weren't looking quite as good. However, we're still going to be a top 10 team in the NHL, a 42, 28, and 12 record. The only concern I have, we weren't necessarily winning a ton of games in regulation. Then again, neither were the Winnipeg Jets, and that's who we're going to be taking on. So I guess this one could go go either way. Connor Bedard, 55 goals, 36 assists for 91 points. Casey Milstat, 74 points. Kaapo Kakko's picking up 68 points here. This is a good young team we're building. I think we have a lot of potential in the future. I think we're going to be looking at 60-win seasons, especially with this guy at the helm. Lukas Dostal, 30 wins, 4 shots, a 904 and a 299. It's time for us to lock in. It's our first postseason appearance with Connor Bedard in 2026. I didn't think we would make it here this quick, but now we're flying and we're looking to win. So at 20 years old, Connor Bedard's looking to set a statement in his first postseason appearance. We split the first 2 games. We're dropping game 3. As long as we don't drop game 4, we're going to be all right, and we're going to be winning that one 8-2. So let's take the lead in game number 5 and then close it out in game 6. That's the plan here, but why would things ever go according to plan? So we got ourselves a big game 6 coming up here. If we're able to win this one, then we're going to be forcing game 7, but we have to win this one. Each team's going to be picking up 2 goals in the second period, so the third's likely going to decide this one, and in the third period when it mattered most, nobody scored. So that means we have overtime coming up here. The next goal is going to be the winner, and it's going to be from Dylan Sandberg. He's picking up the OT winner, and the Chicago Blackhawks are going to be following in 6 games. But if we're being completely honest with ourselves, we saw what this team looked like last season. Did we really expect us to win a Stanley Cup in year number 2? Absolutely not. I'm still surprised this team even made the playoffs. So the Avs are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, taking down the Red Wings in 7 games. I really like what we saw from the Chicago Blackhawks this season. Yeah, we didn't get the result in the postseason that we wanted, but we saw a lot of great progression. Kaapo Kakko's got himself an X Factor, and he's up to an 87 overall. Frank Nazar's got himself an X Factor. Jack Roslovic, I doubt you have an X Factor. You're playing 4th line minutes from me. But Casey Milstat might have a couple here. He's got 1. He's an 87 overall. Yeah, our team's set for the future. And then when it comes to goaltending, I'm not expecting Lukas Dostal to have any X Factors. He posted an 887 and a 319. But I will point out one player that does have a superstar X Factor now, and that's Lev Shinov, up to a 90 overall. Bro's turning into a superstar, and I wasn't even expecting it. I mean, I expected him to be a good player, but a superstar X Factor at 20 years old? Yeah, that's a bit of a shocker. You know what? I'm just kind of curious. Montreal, would you be willing to trade the 2nd overall pick? I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. I'll throw in our 2nd rounders for this season and see if that's enough. Now, it's not like there's a great player projected 2nd overall or anything. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting anything amazing here. So we'll just simulate to our pick and see what happens. Oh wait, Gavin McKenna didn't get drafted 1st overall, and there was actually another franchise potential player projected number 1, and that means Gavin McKenna fell to the 2nd overall pick where we're going to select him, and him and Connor Bedard are going to man our 1st line for the future. Oh, I think that's going to end up being a really good trade for us. We traded 2 first-round picks in the 20th overall range, 2 second-rounders in Jack Roslovic, and we walked away with Gavin McKenna. Gavin McKenna, Connor Bedard, the 2 cousins are back together here. Yeah, we're building something special, that's for sure. Also, with us making those trades, we have no draft picks left. But you know what? I think it was worth trading all those away for the 2nd overall. Now, there's a couple guys looking for some big paydays here, one of them being Lev Shinov, but if he's going to be our number 1 defenseman in the future, I think he's going to deserve this bag. I think 8 years makes the most sense with a no movement, because I don't see why we would move on from him in the future unless he's asking for way too much money then. So maybe I don't want to give him a no movement. How about a modified no trade instead? I'll do 50% team protection. We can do 10.7 million. Actually, I'll make that 10.8 million. I think that's a good contract for both sides. You get your bag, but in the future, if you ask for a stupid amount of money, we have the option to trade you, because a guy like Casey Milstat might ask for too much money here. 9.5 million. I mean, it's not too bad, but now that we have Gavin McKenna, I don't think I actually need you on this team. We might trade you this season. Then again, we could just trade Teuvo Teravainen away, move Casey Milstat down, but $9 million is a lot of money. I think we're going to try to trade for a young playmaker who's on a cheaper contract. I think that would make the most sense for us. Denton Mateychuk, this is a no-brainer. Here's 2.2 for the next 3 years. Bernard Docker, we can also do this as well. We'll do 3.6 for the next 3. So we're going to be locking both of those guys down, but we got to make a couple trades. So I think this is what we're going to do. Casey Milstat over to the LA Kings. The Ferrier, 7.6 for the next 3 is a little bit expensive, but you know what? We have a fair amount of cap space to work with, so I'm fine with doing this deal. We're also going to try to get Jordan Gavin in this deal. A little surprised Jordan Gavin went undrafted. Like, bro definitely has some potential. Don't know why you're not taking a swing on him in the 7th round. I guess we're going to go 1 for 1 here. Honestly, that works for me. So I think we'll finish it off with one more big trade here, and this is actually what I'm really interested in. Picking up Zach Benson. I feel like I haven't traded for Zach Benson a lot in NHL 25. I feel like he's rarely ever on my team. So Patrick Laine and Tara Viner are going to be sent over. We're probably going to have to include some picks in this deal, but I'm not against that. Getting a guy like Zach Benson would be huge for us. So here's Chicago's second rounder for 2027. They're saying no to that. I'll give you another second rounder. How about I actually give you Vancouver's second for 2027, then our second for 2028? I think that's more than fair. They're saying no, so we're going to have to do 3 seconds here. I don't want to give up our first round pick in case something happens next season, we absolutely collapse, but maybe a first round pick 2 years from now isn't the end of the world, because by 2028 we should realistically be one of the top teams in the NHL, so maybe this deal makes sense. We're pretty close in value here. I guess Vancouver's second rounder will make the difference, and just like that, Zach Benson, welcome to the team. Now these 2 free agent signs I'm about to make are going to make absolutely no sense, but they actually do. James Schwartz, here's 4.7 for 1 season. You're going to accept that? I highly doubt anyone's going to outbid me. And then Anders Lee, I'll do 4.6 million for 1 season. So that's about $8 million right there, as long as both of them accept. So Anders Lee is going to be joining the team here, as well as James Schwartz. But now that we signed both of those guys, we're going to make a trade here. Now the reason I had to make sure we can reach the salary cap floor is I'm trading Tyler Bertuzzi away because I want to free up that 5.5 million for next season. If you notice with the 2 free agent signings I did, both of them were 1-year deals. Anders Lee isn't coming back to the team next season. James Schwartz isn't going to come back. However, they are going to help us for this season. Now, really, the only thing I'm concerned about this season is Gavin McKenna on the top line with Connor Bedard. Like, I feel like we should let him develop in juniors, but you know what? He has that franchise potential. Him and Connor Bedard are cousins, so they have that connection. I think them alongside Kaapo Kakko is going to be absolutely elite. The second line's looking pretty solid. The bottom 6 looks great here. The defense is absolutely spectacular. I'm very surprised on how good this team is just 3 years into this rebuild. And technically, we're only in season number 2 because we're not going to count season number 1 because all I did was simulate the season. We got ourselves a team here. Everyone's locked down long term. I think we're slowly building a dynasty around Connor Bedard. Now, I was a little concerned with Gavin McKenna playing top line minutes. I'm no longer concerned. Third in the entire league, a 40-17-5 record. The team is flying, and we're flying because our defense is so incredible. I did not expect us to have a defense this good. Connor Bedard's doing his thing, 83 points so far. The Fury 59 points. Kaapo Kakko 57. Where is that man Gavin McKenna? He is doing absolutely nothing here. 4 goals, 20 helpers for 24 points. He's only an 81 overall. I have him playing first line minutes. Not really ideal, but you know what? We're winning here, and that's all that matters. And we're winning because of these goaltenders. Lucas Dostal, 31 wins, 5 shots, a 922 to 227. No, that was the greatest trade of all time with the Ducks. I have no clue what they were cooking up. Absolute frauds there. No, they're actually so dumb. Why would you make that deal? When it comes to us making a deal here, I don't really think we're going to do anything. I'm not ready to go all in quite yet. Like, we have a really good team here. We have a good young team, and they're going to keep on developing. So I don't think we should be trading away assets. Kaapo Kakko's up to an 89 overall. I just saw that. Needed to point that out. 89 overall Kaapo Kakko. No, this team's going to do something special in a couple years. If we were to do anything here, I guess trade for another really good defenseman, but we don't even have to do that. Alex Vlasic's an 85 overall. Riker Evans is an 86. We have all 84 overalls and above on the defense. I think we could win a Stanley Cup this season. Now, the season's officially wrapped up here, but there is one thing we have to do, and that's give Zach Benson an extension. He's going to be a key part of this team, and this is an amazing deal. We're locking Zach Benson up for 8.4 for the next 5 years. He's already an 88 overall. He's going to be an absolute superstar. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Now, Chicago is elite to finish out the year. 16 victories after the trade deadline, a 56-20-6 record, 3.49 goals per game, but look at that defense. Nobody was even close to us defensively. The next closest team was the Carolina Hurricanes, and it was like a 50 goal difference. Well, almost 50 goals. It was actually 48, but you get the point here. We were incredible defensively this season. Connor Bedard, 111 points. Kaapo Kakko, 78. Lafreniere's picking up 77. Zach Benson, 73. Gavin McKenna, 9 goals, 35 assists for 44 points. Still only an 81 overall. He's going to need some really good progression over the offseason if we want to be serious about winning Stanley Cups. Meanwhile, Lucas Dostal, 42 wins, 7 shots, a 923 to 224. If these numbers continue into the postseason, we're bringing home a Stanley Cup pretty early in this video. Now, last season, we weren't prepared to win a Stanley Cup. However, I do think we're prepared now. We're going to be winning game number 1, and Zach Benson is going to be accepting his contract, so we're going to be flying moving forward. We're going to sweep the Minnesota Wild here, and we're going to move on to the second round. Well, it's not going to be a sweep because we lost game number 3. Just don't lose game 4. We have a commanding 3-1 series lead. Let's close this out in game 5 and move on to the second round, and let's get our first Stanley Cup. Now, it's all about defense. Lukas Dostal was absolutely elite in round number 1. If he keeps playing like this, we could potentially go like 16-3 in the postseason. Bro stopping everything. However, these next 2 matchups are likely going to be a lot tougher. Colorado's going to be able to score some goals. We could potentially take on the Edmonton Oilers in the conference finals, but we got to make sure we make it to the conference finals. But 3 great performances from Lukas Dostal. He is literally keeping everything out of the net here. Bro is absolutely elite. He's going to post a goals against under 2. He is stopping every shot that goes his way. We don't even have to worry about the Edmonton Oilers because the Anaheim Ducks are going to be taking him down, but we're going to take down the Ducks here and we're going to move on to the Stanley Cup Final. In year number 3, we're in the Stanley Cup Final. No, this team's doing something special. Now, this is where things are about to get real. We're in the Stanley Cup Final, and we have the Florida Panthers. I just said we were in year number 3. In reality, we're actually in year number 2 because we just simulated season number 1. We're in year number 2 of this rebuild with Connor Bedard, and we're already in the Stanley Cup Final. Nah, he's really showing out. But in reality, the guy that's actually showing out, Lukas Dostal. He has been absolutely spectacular so far. We have a 3-1 series lead against the Florida Panthers. We can close it out in 5 games here, but we're going to be dropping game 5. Close it out in game 6. We're not blowing a 3-1 series lead. This would be heartbreaking. We can't do this. Whatever you do, do not blow a 3-1 series lead against the Florida Panthers. Each team's going to be picking up 2 goals in the first period. Moving into the second, it's going to be a scoreless one. I am terrified to simulate the third period here, but I'm going to jump into it. That is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking right there. We're falling to the Florida Panthers. We blew a 3-1 series lead. I'm sick. I am sick to my stomach right there. In season number 3, we were 1 game away. We blew a 3-1 series lead to the Florida Panthers. Of course, the Florida Panthers are winning again. This is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking here because Lukas Dostal did some incredible things this postseason. Connor Bedard, 21 points. Lafreniere, 17. Zach Benson, 14. James Schwartz, 13. But look at these numbers from Lukas Dostal. 15 wins, 3 shouts, a 927 and a 225. He had a 180 heading into the Stanley Cup Final. Absolutely heartbreaking here. We should have won a Stanley Cup, but we just couldn't close it out when it mattered most. I have absolutely nothing to say here. I'm heartbroken. So not only did we blow a 3-1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final, we got rinsed in the draft. 5 picks and 0 good prospects. You hate to see it. Like, literally nothing has been going our way until now, because we're entering the re-sign phase. We have money to work with, and who do we get to bring to the team finally? Anton Frondel. So Frondel's going to be joining the team. He's joining on his entry-level contract. He's a 78 overall. He's going to play some good bottom 6 minutes for me. He's on a cheap contract, and that's something that we love to see. Anders Lee, James Schwartz, both you guys are going to be leaving the team, and then we're handing out a lot of 2-way contracts. So Kaapo Kakko's deal is coming to an end here, so it's time for him to get his extension, and I'm a little bit concerned here. This is why I was concerned. $10 million for 1 year. Now, don't get me wrong, Kaapo Kakko is one of our better players right now. An 89 overall. He definitely produced last season, almost a point a game. But do I want to give him $10 million for 1 season? I think we'll hold off with him. Don't be surprised if he gets moved at the trade deadline. If he wants to stay on this team, he has to be pretty reasonable. Oliver Moore, I can definitely bring you back. $2.4 million. That's an absolute steal. Okay, this is interesting. Kaapo Kakko over to the Buffalo Sabres, 1-for-1 for Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson's under contract for the next 3 years at $7.1 million. Kaapo Kakko, although he's been an amazing player for us, Tage Thompson's a higher overall. He's got X factors. He doesn't have a superstar X factor yet, but him on the top line alongside Gavin McKenna and Connor Bedard, no, we got something there if we can get this trade done. So I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. I don't think it's going to cost us too much more. Like, here's a 2nd round pick from the New York Rangers. Is that going to be enough? They're saying it's a little bit low. We're getting this one done. So Kaapo Kakko, don't get me wrong, you're a great player and all, but you're not Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson's going to make a big time difference on this team. 2 7th round picks are being sent over. Tage Thompson, welcome to the team. We're setting ourselves up for a lot of success. Now we have a little bit of cap space, so I can sign 2 players to 1-year deals. We're going to go with Kiefer Sherwood, 3.9 for 1 season, and then we'll sign 1 more player here. I'm actually not too sure who it's going to be yet. I was looking at Jack Roslovic, and honestly it might be Jack Roslovic. I think that's just the simplest thing here. 4.2 for next season. So there's going to be 2 great players join the lineup, and honestly, if they reject these offers, that's not the end of the world, because we have a bunch of amazing young talent that could jump to the lineup. Jack Roslovic's going to be joining the team. Is Kiefer Sherwood going to be joining the team? Yes, he is. So yeah, we're set for this season. Now this is going to be an exciting season for the Blackhawks. Connor Bedard, Gavin McKenna, and Tage Thompson on the top line. Lafreniere, Frank Nazar, and then Zach Benson on the second line. The bottom six is looking elite here. Frondell, we're actually going to keep you in the AHL so you can play some top line minutes there. I think that's going to be better for your development. The defense is looking spectacular. Goaltending is looking phenomenal. 89 overall Lucas Dostal. We fleeced the Ducks with that trade. I will never get over it. Like, we really traded Nick Foligno, a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, and Ryan Donato, and got one of the best young goaltenders in the game. That's ridiculous. So we look pretty similar to last year at this point. 4th in the entire league, a 39, 18, and 5 record, 3.74 goals for, and then when it comes to the defense, 2.84 allowed. The team's looking pretty solid here. Like, we have one of the better offenses and one of the better defenses, and when it comes to the postseason, you need both. Connor Bedard, 74 points, Tage Thompson, 66 points, Lafreniere, 59 points. He's been a really good second line player for us. Gavin McKenna's up to 54 points. He's a 90 overall. This is the progression I've been looking for. Gavin McKenna, Connor Bedard, Tage Thompson on the top line. They're going to lead us to greatness here. Levshunov continues to lead the defense. He's a 93 overall. He's an absolute superstar. We got him locked down for 8 years. We don't have to worry about paying that man. And then when it comes to goaltending, Lucas Dostal, just keep doing your thing here. Now, if we are going to make a trade here, we're just upgrading the bottom 6. But if we are upgrading the bottom 6, who's actually going to provide benefit to our team? Like, if you want to play on our bottom 6, you have to be like an 86 overall. That's how good it is right now. Like, we have all 85 overalls and above. Maybe we could get an upgrade when it comes to the 4th line. We'll look and see what's out there. If we can find a good 4th line player, I think we'll make a move here. The defense is completely set, so we're not worried about that. Just give me like an 85 overall who doesn't have a lot of trade value. So I think this is what we'll do. One of our young prospects and a 3rd rounder sent over to the Red Wings. Rasmussen's going to be brought in. He's going to play some 4th line minutes for me, and I think that's going to be the only move we're making. Now, once again, after the trade deadline, we were absolutely elite. 1st in the entire league, a 55-21-6 record. I believe we won 16 games after the trade deadline. This team really can't be stopped. Post-trade deadline, we are always the best team in the NHL. We always find a way to step it up. Connor Bedard, 56 goals, 46 assists for 102 points. Tage Thompson, 89 points. Lafreniere's picking up 83 points. Gavin McKenna, 79 points. He's going to be a point a game next season. He's a 90 overall. He's going to be a superstar. Levshunov, 71 points. Frank Nazar, 71 points. We have so many elite players on this team. It's actually ridiculous. And one of those elite players is Lucas Dostal. 44 wins, 4 shots, a 904 and a 279. I know for a fact he's going to step up in the postseason once again. That's just what he does. So Lucas Dostal, on yet another historic run from you. Last season, you were incredible, and I know you're going to be incredible once again in the postseason. We're winning game number 1, moving into game 2. We're looking to win that one as well, and we're going to be doing that. But surprisingly, the goaltending hasn't been elite so far. It's been okay because we've been winning games, but 3 goals allowed here, 2 allowed here, 5 allowed here, 3 allowed here. Hasn't been quite as good, but who cares? We're still sweeping the Jets. So we were able to sweep the Winnipeg Jets in round number 1. Moved into round number 2, we have the Colorado Avalanche up next. We've been able to beat them before, so why can't we beat them now? No, I think we're about to witness a dynasty with this Chicago Blackhawks team. I think we're going to win multiple Stanley Cups with Connor Bedard leading the way. I think he's going to do something special here. We split the series through the first 2. We're dropping game 3, and we're dropping game 4. You remember how I was talking about us winning multiple Stanley Cups? Yeah, probably shouldn't have brought that up. We are facing elimination here in round number 2. In game number 5, we have to make a 3-1 series comeback, and I don't think that's going to happen here. Yep, we lost in 5 games. I was talking about building a dynasty around Connor Bedard, winning multiple Stanley Cups, and the second I finished talking about that, we lost 4 in a row. Sometimes a man has to just stop yapping. Okay, I hate it here. Florida is winning another Stanley Cup. This isn't fair. It's just not fair at all. Lafreniere, 10 points. Frank Nazar, 9 points. Connor Bedard, 8 points. No, it's not fair. I will not accept this. Lucas Dostal, I don't even want to look at your numbers. Why does Florida get to win all the time? Now, Nisimont might only have low top 4D potential, but he was a gem, so I thought I'd highlight him with the 60th overall pick. We got ourselves a Viking here in the 5th round, 52 overall. Viking Stan, welcome to the team. No, that's an elite name. But you know what's better than one lowly potential player? Another one with the 188th overall selection. Keeler's a 51 overall playmaker. In reality, I'm not expecting too much from him. Now, we're in a bit of cap trouble. Green's going to be coming back to the team, but we're going to be looking at $1 million for the next 2 years. Outside of him, I don't think we're going to bring any of these guys back here, but the salary cap has finally caught up to us. Kevin Korchinski, Gavin McKenna, Lafreniere, all of them are looking for extensions here. Well, not Lafreniere. I mean, he needs one, but he's actually not interested in an extension, so I'm just curious on how much he's actually looking for here. Yeah, you're being traded. I'm not doing that. Gavin McKenna, we do sub $10 million. We probably can. So I'll do 9.6 for the next 7 years with Gavin McKenna. That's going to be an incredible deal alongside Bedard and Tage Thompson. And then Kevin Korchinski, how much money are you looking for? $11 million. I'm not afraid to move you here because we have Levshunov as our number one offensive defenseman. Do we really need another offensive defenseman on our top pairing? I don't think so. So Kevin Korchinski, I think we actually might trade you here, especially at that cap hit. Like, I mean, having two offensive defensemen at that cost, I just don't know how we're going to manage it. All right, so this is what I'm thinking when it comes to Kevin Korchinski. We bring in Carter Yakimchuk, Shane Pinto, and 2 first-round picks. Shane Pinto will play some second-line minutes. We'll move Frank Nazar over to right wing, and then Zach Benson will continue to play on the left side. We bring in Carter Yakimchuk as well. 6 more years at $5 million. That's an absolute steal. He's an 85 overall. If we give him top pairing minutes, he's definitely going to improve into like an 88, 89 overall player. 2 first-rounders are also going to be pretty valuable here. I think that's a no-brainer. No, I think this would be a really good trade for us. Laferriere and our first-round pick sent over to the Penguins. We get Tomasino and McGroarty for the bottom 6, and then we also get the Pittsburgh Penguins first-rounder. Basically, we're just swapping first in this deal. The Penguins first-rounder is going to have way more value than ours. I'm actually willing to give up a lot more in this deal. Like, I'll give you a second-round pick for 2030. Hopefully, that's going to be enough. It doesn't look like it. Do you want a goaltender? Because I know we have goalies on this team. Jack Ivankovic is going to fit your trade block here. We already have Ravensburgen to be the backup, so Ivankovic, I'm willing to trade you away. Pittsburgh would have too many goaltenders. Give me one of your AHL guys. Like, I'll take on an AHL goaltender. Hopefully this trade's going to be enough here. I think we fleece them. We got a very valuable first round pick. We got 2 great players for the bottom 6. The salary cap situation is now fixed on this team, and we actually have enough money to sign somebody in free agency, so we could go make a splash. So we made a couple changes over the offseason. Shane Pinto's going to be playing some second line minutes, but you know what? I think he's going to work well alongside Zach Benson and Frank Nazar. The bottom 6 is still looking really strong here, but after looking at our defense, I don't think we actually need to pick up Carter Yakimchuk. We have 89 overall Riker Evans, 94 overall Levshunov, 88 overall Matejchuk, 87 overall Alex Vlasic, and 86 overall Bernard Docker. You can't ask for a better defense than that right there. And then when it comes to goaltending, Lucas Dostal dropped 4 overalls to an 85 because that's how it works. No, like seriously, how did he drop 4 overalls? He was an 89 at the beginning of last season, now he's an 85. I don't get that. Now it's no surprise the Blackhawks continue to fly here, a 43-16-4 record. The offense is great and the defense is great, but is this team going to be great once the postseason comes around? We're kind of yet to see that. Connor Bedard continues to do his thing, 46 goals in 63 games. Gavin McKenna is taking the next step. He's up to a point a game. Tage Thompson, he's only 1 point below a point a game, but he's been a stud for us. Zach Benson's doing his thing. Shane Pinto, what an acquisition that was. Like, he's really not getting paid that much. We're being offered a trade. I don't want Kevin Fiala. Yeah, I just don't want to do this deal. I'm not giving up Pittsburgh's first round pick. And is that first round pick very valuable? Because it might be. I feel like that Penguins first round pick should be pretty valuable. I don't think they're that great of a team. 27, 27, and 8. So they are not a good team. We're probably looking at a top 10 pick there. That's incredible. But as I was saying, Shane Pinto, what are your numbers so far compared to last season? Like, you have 51 points already, and I feel like that's significantly better than what you did last season. Last season, you had 47 points in 82 games. You have 51 points in 63 games since coming to the team. You're turning into an absolute stud. Lucas Dostal, 34 wins, 3 shots, a 910, a 257. Just keep on doing your thing here, and we're likely going to be winning some Stanley Cups. Now, when it comes to making trades here, I don't want to be making trades and only bringing in players for 1 year. So if we're going to be bringing someone to the team, I would like them to be here multiple years. But in saying that, we don't need a top 6 player, and we don't need a third line player. If we're bringing anyone to the team, it's going to be a 4th line guy. And do I really want to give up a bunch of assets to bring a 4th line player to the team? Probably not. So I actually don't think we're going to make any trades here once again, except for maybe Jake Evans. Jake Evans would actually be interesting on the 4th line, because I believe Green is our 4th line center right now, and he's only like an 81, maybe 82 overall. So having him on the 4th line actually might not be too bad. I think we're going to do that. So I'm going to trade a 2nd and 3rd round pick for Jake Evans. Montreal's going to be accepting that. We have our new 4th line center, and now we're going to go get a cup. Now, so far, I think there's only 2 problems with the Chicago Blackhawks. One, we haven't won a Stanley Cup, but this season was great, 57, 20, and 5. But the second problem is Connor Bedard's numbers are never going to be truly elite, because we have too much great talent on this team. Like, we have to split the shifts between Connor Bedard, Frank Nazar, Tage Thompson, Gavin McKenna, Zach Benson, Shane Pinto, Levshunov, Riker Evans, Chinikov, Oliver Moore, Frondell. Like, there's a lot of elite players on this team, and all of them need to touch the ice. So Connor Bedard, He's only playing 20 minutes a night. He probably should be playing 24. Like, he should be playing an additional 4 minutes per night. Lucas Dawson's doing his thing, but let's look at some of the other leading scorers in the league. Like, how many minutes are these guys playing compared to Bedard? Like, Connor McDavid, 123 points. He's playing 22 minutes a night. Logan Stankoven only played 19. Okay, maybe Bedard is playing enough. Logan Stankoven was just absolutely elite. Leon Draisaitl, 22 minutes a night. Svechnikov, how many minutes were you playing? Only 19. Okay, maybe Bedard is playing enough and he's just not producing. Jason Robertson, 21 minutes a night. No, Logan Stankoven's on something. Like, these numbers make no sense for 19 minutes a night. But you know what? We're not going to worry about that. Who cares about the individual stats for Connor Bedard if we can win 18 Stanley Cups? We're taking on the Winnipeg Jets in the first round. It's time for him to get his first. Now, I'm not expecting the Winnipeg Jets to put up much of a fight here. I think we'll get past Winnipeg pretty easily, and then we'll move on to the second round. I'm taking that comment back immediately. We drop game number 1. We don't drop game number 1. Luckily, we're responding in game 2 and in game 3, but game 4 is going to be the big one. I don't want to have this series evened up. We have to take the lead. Yeah, that's not a good look. The series is split 2-2. Game number 5 is going to be a big one. We can't afford to lose this one. Please win it. Why am I not surprised? I said the Jets weren't going to put up much of a fight. Now they're going to take us down. Connor Bedard, I'm trying to give you the best career imaginable, but things just aren't going our way. Don't collapse in the third period. Whatever you do, don't collapse. We're going to be stealing this one, but we have to steal game 7 as well. Like, in theory, there's no team that should be able to compete with us. From top to bottom, we are absolutely stacked, but for some reason, when the games matter most, we're just not winning here. Maybe it's because Connor Bedard isn't on the ice enough. Maybe we need to trade some of the elite players on the bottom 6 so Connor Bedard can be on the ice more, but who cares? Back-to-back victories, including a shutout in game 7. I'm going to stop yapping. Now, luckily, we were able to win back-to-back games and we got past the Winnipeg Jets, but now we have the Dallas Stars, and they're going to be an even tougher task. So we know the Dallas Stars is going to put up a good fight, but the Blackhawks are also going to put up a good fight. Just kidding, we're dropping the first 2 games. Why am I not shocked at this? We're down 3-1 in the series. You know what? I couldn't even be bothered to jump into game number 5 because I know we're going to collapse when it matters. Just kidding. Apparently we're actually winning games. We're just going to keep on simulating games here. We're not going to jump into any of these because we're going to keep on winning, making a 3-1 series comeback. Lost in overtime. We lost in overtime in game 7. We almost made a 3-1 series comeback, lost in overtime in game 7. It just hurts. Every time I think this team's going to take the next step, they just don't do it. I don't even know what to say here. Bedard was amazing, Tage Thompson was amazing, Gavin McKenna was amazing, Lev Shinov was pretty good, and then here's the rest of the team. Frauds. Holy absolute fleece. We have the 1st overall pick and the 8th overall pick. I don't even care about losing in the postseason anymore. We have the 1st overall and the 8th overall. Just give me another franchise potential player and we'll be all right. So we've entered the draft and we have the 1st overall pick. However, I don't think we're getting a franchise potential player here. Then again, this guy did put up franchise numbers. 51 goals and 65 assists in 68 games. He could potentially have franchise potential. I doubt it though. We're going to be selecting him 1st overall and 83 overall with medium elite potential. That's a great pickup for us. However, we're not quite done yet because there is another player I'm looking at in the draft here. He's a defenseman, but I believe he's projected 7th overall. I'm not really too sure if we're going to be able to secure him here. Okay, we are risking it here. We're trading up in the draft. I need the 7th overall pick. Here's the 8th overall, and I'll give you a 4th, 5th, and 6th rounder. Hopefully all of this is going to be enough to move up 1 spot in the draft. Perfect. Now the reason I moved up here is I wanted to select Backman. Unfortunately, he got drafted with the 6th overall pick, but I didn't expect this player to still be on the board. He has unknown potential, but he was projected anywhere between 3 and 1. Yeah, we're going to draft this player right here. Hopefully he has medium elite potential and 81 overall. That is an absolute steal. Vitali should have went 2nd or 3rd overall. For some reason, he dropped in the draft, and we're going to be able to secure him 7th overall. That's an absolute steal. When it comes to the 8th overall pick, high top 9. Wow, we got lucky there. So we're going to lose a couple pieces here. Jake Evans is going to be leaving the team. Atu Ratu is probably going to be leaving the team. Is this Atu Ratu or Aku Ratu? This might be Aku Ratu. Aku Ratu will not be returning. Rudd McGroarty, I actually would like to bring you back to the team. I just don't want to do 2.7 million. So I'm going to qualify you as an RFA, and then we'll figure out what to do with you. We'll sign a bunch of these rookies right here. But yeah, we're about to run into some cap troubles because Riker Evans needs an extension, Tage Thompson needs an extension, Denton Matejchuk needs an extension, Frank Nazar needs an extension, Chinakhov Kucherov needs an extension, Alex Vlasic needs one, Bernard Docker needs one, half this team needs an extension, Trondell needs one. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do here. All right, so we're certainly running into some cap troubles here. Riker Evans, you're 90 overall. I would like to bring you back to the team, but I don't know if I can do $11 million. I actually know I can't do $11 million. Tage Thompson, how much are you looking for? You probably want more than $11 million. You're probably gonna be in the 12-13 range, 11.4. That's a tough contract. Denton Mateychuk, how much do you want? I don't hate that, because we could just turn you into a top defenseman for us. So Denton Mateychuk, we might hold on to you. Frank Nazar, that's not happening. You're going to be traded away. Chinikov, how much are you looking for? Maybe you can move into a top 6 role. You probably could at this price. If we turn Chinikov into a top sniper for us, I think we can afford to bring him back here. How many points did he have last season? 17 goals, 29 assists, but he was playing third line minutes. He's been a 40-point player. If we move him up into the top 6, he can probably be like a 60-70 point guy. So Chinikov will bring you back to the team. How about 6.3 for the next 6 seasons? So ideally, he's going to be returning to the team. Frondell, you can return to the team as well, because you're probably not going to look for too much. I can do 3.5 million or something. Actually, I'll make that 3.6 million for 2 years. You're probably still going to be playing bottom 6 minutes for me. I'm going to hold off on giving Denton Mateychuk a contract right now. I think he's likely going to come back to this team, but I want to see what Riker Evans and Tage Thompson's trade values are, because we might be able to bring in another superstar. Like if I package up Riker Evans and Tage Thompson, we can bring in another superstar player, and having another superstar alongside Connor Bedard and Gavin McKenna, that actually wouldn't be a bad idea. All right, so this is what I'm thinking with Riker Evans. I'm going to send him over to the Washington Capitals. We're bringing in Ryan Leonard and 2 second-round picks. Ryan Leonard's probably going to end up playing some first-line minutes for us, maybe some second-line minutes. I actually haven't decided yet. They don't want to give me a second-round pick, but what if I give you this lucrative 7th-rounder right here? Does that change your mind? You need 2 lucrative 7th-round picks. I understand it. 7th-round picks are incredibly valuable, and you want all the 7th-round picks, so just like that, we're getting this one done. All right, now this is going to be a bit of a risky move, because Matt Boldy, I don't know how much you're going to be looking for. You've been putting up some decent numbers in Minnesota, so I'm expecting you're going to be asking for a bag, but I think we can make it work here. Tage Thompson, you're aging out on me. Alex Vlasic, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford to keep you on this team, so both of you are going to be sent over to Minnesota. We're getting Matt Boldy and 2 first-round picks. I guess we're not getting 2 first-round picks. We're definitely getting 1, though. The fact that I have to include some draft picks in this deal is actually a bit ridiculous. This is a very fair trade. So here's a 3rd and 4th rounder. Hopefully that's going to make the difference here, and it looks like it will. Now, Matt Boldy, please sign a reasonable deal. Now, you know what? For Matt Boldy, considering he's going to likely play first-line minutes for me, this isn't a terrible deal whatsoever. We're going to be looking at 9.8 million for the next 7 years. Actually, make that 9.9 million, so just under $10 million. That works for me. Now, we need to bring in a couple more defensemen here, because we still have to make a couple more moves. But Zane Parekh, I think he'd be a great guy for us. 7.1 million for the next 5 years. That's a reasonable contract we can work with. Frank Nazar isn't going to be enough, but I'll throw in a couple picks. Like here's a 6th rounder, and I think that should make the difference here. It looks like it will. I think we're almost set. All right, I found an elite, low elite potential player here in free agency. He went undrafted, and 19 years old. He's a 70 overall. I 100% want to bring this guy to my team. In a couple of years, he might be able to jump to the lineup. Let's remember that player right there. Shane Crabbe. You could be a difference maker for us. I mean, even a deal like this isn't bad. Philip Massar, $825K for the next 2 years. You can play in the AHL for me for sure. Now, we had to make some adjustments over the offseason, but you know what? I think the team's still in an amazing spot here. The top 6 is looking great. The bottom 6 is looking great. The defense is looking spectacular here. Yes, it is a little bit weaker. Why would Lev Schnoff play second pairing minutes? Why would we do that? That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, let's have the 94 overall play second pairing minutes. Our coach has no clue what he's doing here. Lucas Dostal, you're actually the backup now. Ravensburgen's up to an 86 overall. He's ready to take over. Do we trade Lucas Dostal now? If I trade him away, we free up 7.9 million. We can re-sign Denton Mateychuk. We're 1000% doing that. All right, so this is what we're going to do with Lucas Dostal. I'm going to send him over to the Vegas Golden Knights. Campoli and Eichel are both going to be acquired. At least I'm hoping to get both of these guys here. If we can only get Campoli, I'm actually perfectly fine with that. He's an 80 overall. We'll have him develop in juniors for 1 more season. We'll bring him onto the team next year. But the main reason we're doing this deal right here is we free up enough money for Denton Mateychuk. So with Lucas Dostal off the team, we free up enough money for Denton Mateychuk, and he's going to be coming back on an incredible deal. We're looking at 7.3 million. Never mind, make that 7.2 million. He's an 88 overall. We're going to have him locked down for this season, and then the next 5 after that, You can't ask for a better contract. So it's no surprise the Blackhawks continue to be one of the best teams, 5th in the entire league, a 34-17-4 record, and we had a pretty slow start to the season, so I'm happy to see that we're 5th in the entire league. 3.8 goals per game, 2.83 allowed, so we have an elite offense and an elite defense. That shouldn't surprise anyone. Meanwhile, Connor Bedard, 50 goals in 60 games so far, 84 points, Matt Boldy 64, Gavin McKenna 60. Our top line is looking absolutely elite right now. The second line could be a little bit better, I'm not gonna lie. The second line's a little bit of a disappointment right now, but you know what? We won't worry about that right now. We'll worry about that in the future, because right now we're winning games. That's all that matters. Ravensburgen, 33 wins, one shot, a 906 and a 277. He's going to be the guy moving forward for us. I have a lot of faith in him. Now, when it comes to us making a trade here, I don't think we're going to do anything. I don't want to trade any of our picks away. We don't have a ton of young prospects I want to trade away here. I think we're just going to stick with the same team the entire season. This is also a really good sign, though. Ottawa's first round pick has a ton of value. They were one of the worst teams in the entire league once again. You just love to see it. Are we going to be getting another top pick in the draft here? What's the Senators' record right now? Like, it has to be pretty bad. A 23-33-5 record? No, that was the greatest trade of all time. I don't even remember who we gave them. Who did we trade over? Kevin Korchinski. No, we fleeced them. So it's another strong finish after the trade deadline. 3rd in the entire league, a 57-21-4 record, 3.79 goals per game, 2.59 allowed. Like always, one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses. And Connor Bedard was him this season. We finally found the right guys to surround him with. 75 goals, 48 assists for 123 points. Matt Boldy, 93 points. Gavin McKenna, 88 points. We found the right guys. It might have taken until 2030, but we have found the right people for Connor Bedard. Ravensburgen, 49 wins, 6 shots, a 915 to 249. Did Connor Bedard finally lead the league in points here? It is very possible with 123. It looks like he did. He's going to be tied with Mikko Rantanen, and he's also tied with Sebastian Aho, but he's going to lead the league in goals, 75. It was a historic season for Connor Bedard, but the job's not done quite yet. We have Nashville in the first round. We have to win a Stanley Cup to cap it off. So we need to win a Stanley Cup. It's the best season we've seen from Connor Bedard. The only thing that can make it better is a Stanley Cup. We dropped game number 1. That doesn't surprise me. I'm going to be honest. I'm starting to think Connor Bedard will never win a Stanley Cup in this video, even though we're going to be a top 3 team the entire time. We've split the series with Nashville. There's no reason we should split the series with Nashville. We are significantly better than them. I shouldn't say that. I have no clue what Nashville's record is, but we're definitely better than this team. And now we're in game 7. We can't fall in game 7. Whatever y'all do not fall in game 7. We're about to fall in game 7. What is wrong with this team? Why do we always choke? It's getting ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. We were the 3rd best team in the NHL. We won 57 games, but that means absolutely nothing, because we're losing in the first round. I need to see where Nashville was in the standings. I know they were a wildcard team. How good were they? 42 wins. We won 15 more games than this team. We had a better offense than them and a better defense than them. You're kidding me. Like, this is just ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. Bedard, 5 goals in 7 games. You did what you could. Ryan Leonard, 4 goals in 7 games. You did what you could. Besides these 2 guys right here, we couldn't score goals. 1 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal. That's ridiculous. Connor Bedard and Ryan Leonard combined for 9 goals. Everyone else on the roster combined for 7. Like, that's just stupid. There's no way that's happening. Ravensburgen, a 912 and a 277. These numbers aren't terrible, but it doesn't matter because we're out in the first round. I hate this. I hate this so much. Florida keeps on winning. In NHL 26, I'm fully convinced. In the first 5 years of every simulation, it's just going to be Florida winning the Stanley Cup year after year after year for like the first 5 years. We got the 4th overall pick from the Senators. I really don't care about that. Unless there's a franchise potential player that we could trade up for, I don't care whatsoever. And honestly, trading up for a franchise potential player would actually be very easy, so I hope there is one. Like, the 4th overall pick in Frondell is probably enough, and we get the 1st overall pick in a franchise potential player. That's not going to be happening here. Instead, we're going to be drafting a defensive defenseman. I would actually be okay with that. As long as that defenseman's available with the 4th overall pick, and it doesn't look like it. He ended up going 2nd overall, so we're not going to be getting him. But instead, who are we going to be walking away with? We're going to walk away with Kevin Foote, who's a gem. Our scout rank had this guy as the best player available. We might be okay here. That's a good centerman right there, an 81 overall. Technically the best player available. I think we cooked here. He already has 4 X factors. He had 51 goals, 55 assists. This guy might be jumping into the lineup immediately, but probably not. Okay, this is a no-brainer. Yes, this is like 20 picks early, but we're getting low elite at the very lowest here. Low elite potential, 67 overall. I'll take it. And then with our final pick in the draft, we're going to get a medium top 4 defenseman in the second round. This was a really good draft for us. I can't complain. Now, we are going to lose some pieces. Bernard Docker is going to be leaving the team. He's an 86 overall. We actually might be able to keep him here. I don't hate this deal. 29 years old, we would keep him on the team until he's 35, and then we can just let him walk. For an 86 overall defenseman, this actually isn't terrible, but we did just draft a mediumly potential defenseman. I think we actually might just let him walk. Like, he's going to end up playing third pairing minutes because I want to give Yakimchuk a big role. Then again, Yakimchuk has dropped to an 83 overall, but we do need a defenseman on the left side. Yeah, we're going to let Bernard Docker walk here. Yakimchuk, you got to turn into something pretty quick here. You're kind of letting me down. McGroarty, I'm hoping I can keep you on this team for a pretty cheap deal. 2.8 for the next two would work with me. We actually are going to be able to do less than that, 2.6 for the next two. We'll meet in the middle at 2.7. How does that seem? That seems pretty fair. So McGroarty's coming back to the team. Green, you're going to be coming back as well. 1.7. How about we do 2 years? I'll do 1.9 for the next 2 years. That's a great contract for you. You play some good minutes for me. Ladwinski, I want to keep you on this team as well. How much are you going to be looking for? 800K. That's an absolute steal. Johnson, 1.2 million to play some third pairing minutes. That's not bad whatsoever. And then with everyone else, we're looking at two-way contracts. Now, luckily, our cap situation's amazing here. So Oliver Moore, you're the only guy we have to worry about. And how much do you want? 3.5 for 1 season. What if we did a 2-year deal? I can do 2 years at 3.7 million. You play good third line minutes for me. That's not a bad contract whatsoever. So Oliver Moore's coming back to the team. And then these two rookies will sign next season. Now, I didn't make a ton of changes over the offseason. And why is that? Because we were the third best team in the entire league. There is no reason we shouldn't be winning right now. Like, we have all the right pieces here. I just need people to show up. Ravensburgen, you're up to an 87. I have no clue why you don't have X factors yet, but that's beside the point. As long as everyone on this team shows up, we'll lose in the first round. So how about nobody show up here and we'll somehow win a Stanley Cup? Also, I think we're done stopping at the trade deadline. I'm not going to be making any trades here. We're just going to be rocking the same team for the entire season. All right, you know it's getting serious when I pull out this move right here. We're simulating the entire postseason. No face cam, no nothing. Just me narrating what happens here. This was certainly an interesting season. The Chicago Blackhawks weren't a super team by any means. Don't get it wrong, we didn't win 70 games. But Connor Bedard's season makes absolutely no sense. I want to remind everybody, we ran the exact same team this season as we did to last season. Therefore, Connor Bedard's numbers should look the exact same. Let me just tell you, they were not the exact same. We did get past the Dallas Stars. We're moving on to the second round. I don't think we've gotten to the conference finals in this video. So if we somehow get past Minnesota, which we're definitely not going to do here, we don't even have to worry about it. We're not getting past Minnesota. We split the series. We won game number 5. We're not going to get past Minnesota. We're going to collapse here. I'm stunned. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very surprised here, only for us to get swept in the conference finals. Never mind, are we making a huge comeback? We lost in game 7. We were on the verge of making a 3-1 series comeback, only to lose in game number 7. Why am I not surprised? So we finally made it to the conference finals. I guess that's a positive here. But Connor Bedard, why did you have 90 points this season? We had a 54, 25, and 3 record. Connor Bedard had 50 points this season. I just want to point out his numbers last season. He had 123 points last season, including 75 goals. He had 33 less points this season. He took one more shot, but he shot 5% less. The power play numbers were actually up this season. He played slightly less. But yeah, Bedard just didn't show up for me this season. So once again, we're not going to be winning the Stanley Cup. We did make it to the conference final, so I guess we can celebrate that, but that's not a Stanley Cup. Ravensburgen, 86 overall, still no X factors. What is it going to take for this man to get some X factors? What is it going to take for this team to win? Ryan Leonard, 18 points in the postseason. Connor Bedard, 17 points. Matt Boldy, 17. Ravensburgen must have completely fallen apart for me. Nope, he had good numbers. We just couldn't win the most important games. Offensively, we look really good here. Defensively, we looked really good. Did anyone have a negative plus minus? 2 players, Green and Beecher. Other than those 2 guys, everyone had a positive plus minus. For some reason, year after year, we can't step up in the most important games. Montreal's going to be winning the Stanley Cup here. Why can we never win when it matters most? Now, we had a couple first round picks to work with here. With the first one, we're getting a medium top 6 potential forward. With the second one, a lowly potential defenseman. But none of this matters. because those aren't Stanley Cups. Getting elite players in the draft doesn't help me if we don't win Stanley Cups here. We are going to have a handful of really good rookies jumping into the lineup next season. That's certainly going to be helping the team, but we got to figure it out here. So let's go ahead and sign these two mediumly potential rookies to the team. We're going to have them under contract for the next 3 years on their entry level contracts. That's definitely going to help us here, but is it going to help us enough to win a Stanley Cup? Absolutely not. Everyone else is going to be leaving the team here, except for this rookie. I will sign him. 21 years old, medium top 4 potential. He's not going to develop into anything though. He's 21 years old. His career is almost over. Now I knew this day was going to come eventually. Zach Benson's looking for an extension, but he doesn't want to sign one with the team, so that means he's going to be looking for too much. You're traded. I can't give you $15 million. Frondell, how much are you going to be looking for? It's probably going to be ridiculous. 5.2 isn't terrible, but I just don't see you holding a top 6 role in this team, so I think we will trade you away. And then who's going to replace Zach Benson? Kevin Foote's jumping into the lineup. Yes, we're going to have an 81 overall on our top line, but that's just the way it goes. Well, technically he's not on the top line, he's in the top 6, but same difference. You know what? Things have changed here. Foote actually isn't going to be our second line center. Instead, it's going to be Hicketts. He's joined the team 5.1 for the next 4 years. Alex Ives is also going to be joining the team. He's going to be a good depth defenseman for us, mediumly potential, but we're also getting 2 first-round picks in this deal. I want those first-rounders. The Islanders aren't going to be a great team. I can swap first with you. I'll offer our first-round pick for this season. They're saying no. I'll give you my first-round pick for next season. Basically, we're just swapping first-round picks, but I'm perfectly fine with that, considering ours are going to have no value, and yours are probably going to be top 5 picks. They're still saying no, so that means we could probably throw something else into this deal, and that something else could be Shane Pinto. Like, his contract's almost up here. We're probably not going to need him in the top 6 anymore. Chinakov's going to move up into the top 6. It's going to be Leonard Chinikov in the centerman we're trading for. I'll take away one of the first rounders. Actually, I'm taking away both first rounders because Zach Benson and Pinto actually might be enough here, and it looks like they are. You know what? I actually changed my mind here. Chinikov, you're not going to play top line minutes. Instead, we're going to go with Matthew Wood. 5 years at $6.7 million. I like his production a little bit better. He hasn't been on the greatest Nashville Predators team in the world. Then again, I think Nashville has taken us down the playoffs. Yes, they did. They took us down 2 years ago. So yeah, just completely ignore that comment about Nashville not being any good. They've been able to beat us. Then again, we're terrible. Now, I think we should have a decent amount of money to work with here. So when it comes to handing out extensions, it shouldn't be too bad. Ravensburgen, how much are you going to be looking for? I can do a little 3-year deal. We'll do 3 years at $6.2 million. That's going to keep you around for the near future. And then when it comes to Frondell, if we can only do 1 year here, I think I'm going to hold off. I would like to do multiple with you. McGroarty, how much are you going to be looking for? You're playing bottom 6 minutes. I'm going to be honest, if you walk, I'm not against it. Green, Ludwinski, I'm fine with you guys walking as well. I think there's going to be a lot of guys changing teams here. Now, there's no more excuses. This team looks elite from top to bottom. We have some amazing rookies jumping into the lineup. Our center depth is the best in the entire league. Our defense is the best in the entire league. Goaltending technically isn't the best because Ravensburgen's only an 86, but he has potential. He just hasn't been showing it. Develop some X factors and you can be our guy. So we go through this every season. We're one of the best teams in the entire league. We finished top 3 only to fall in the postseason. Am I expecting a different result this time? Not really. Connor Bedard, 104 points, 74 goals. He has been an absolute superstar so far this entire video. Why does our power play suck? We must have had one of the worst power plays in the league. These are not good power play numbers. Like, Bedard led the way with 14 points. How is our power play that bad? We have a good power play coach. I guess we just decided, no, we're not scoring power play goals this season. Where does our power play rank in the entire league? Like, we have to have one of the worst power plays here. 16%, where does that rank? Yeah, we have one of the worst power plays in the league. I don't understand why it's this bad. You're telling me with the amount of elite talent we have, we don't have a good power play? Like, that just makes no sense. Our penalty kills should be elite. Like, we should have one of the best penalty kills, and it doesn't look like we have that. I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah, it should be significantly better than this. I don't know what it's going to take here. Maybe I have to fix the power play. Maybe I got to fix the penalty kill. I clearly have to fix something here. So we have another postseason ahead of us. Connor Bedard, I believe you're 26, maybe even 27 at this point, and you still don't have a Stanley Cup. You've almost been in the NHL for a decade now. We're closing in on a decade, and you still haven't got a Stanley Cup here. That's not right. That's not right whatsoever. We have to get you one. We have a 3-1 series lead. We'll close out in game number 5, and then we'll move on to the second round. But there's no more excuses here. There is no excuses, especially if we blow a 3-1 series lead. Then I don't know what I'm going to do with this team. but we don't have to worry about that. So we made it out of the first round. That doesn't happen too often. Now we have to make it out of the second round, and that happens even less. Like, making it out of the first round is one thing with this team. Making it out of the second round, that's basically unheard of. We're dropping game number 1. We're responding in game 2. You better win game number 3 here. Of course, we're going to allow 6 goals. Why can this team just not dominate? Like, just be the best team in the entire league. You have all the pieces to be one of the greatest, but for some reason, you just don't want to put those pieces together. Close out in game number 6, and we can move on to the conference finals. Minnesota beat us last time. I refuse to let that happen again. We will not fall to the Minnesota Wild. We will beat Minnesota. We won the first 2 games. Are we going to sweep them? We're in the Cup final. Connor Bedard, you finally made it here. It has taken far too long, but you're in the Stanley Cup Final. Season number 1 with Chris Knobloch, and we've already made it to the Stanley Cup Final. Now all we have to do is close it out. Win 4 games of the next 7, and we can be Stanley Cup champions. Just take it 1 game at a time and 1 victory at a time. That's all I'm asking for. We have a 3-1 series lead. Do not blow a 3-1 series lead here. Y'all better not fold when it matters most. You have to close it out, and it's finally done. The Chicago Blackhawks are Stanley Cup champions, and Connor Bedard's got his first. It's a glorious day. I never thought I'd see the day where Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks can actually win a Stanley Cup. Gavin McKenna, 25 points. He led the way. Connor Bedard, 21 points. Matt Boldy, 21. Ryan Leonard, 17. Look at the big-time goal scoring from these guys. They stepped up when they had to. Ravensburgen, you did your thing. 15 wins, 2 shots, a 909 and 266. Connor Bedard's finally a Stanley Cup champion. He can now be included in the discussion with the greatest of all time. But that's probably not happening considering this is what his trophy case looks like. 1 Stanley Cup, 1 Hart, 1 Ted Lindsay, 1 Art Ross, 2-time Maurice Rocket Richard winner, and a Calder. He hasn't entered Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid status quite yet. But if he can win a couple more Stanley Cups here and continue to put up some elite numbers, he might enter that conversation. So not only are we winning Stanley Cups, but we're winning in the draft here with the 96th overall pick, a medium league potential player, 61 overall playmaker. I think Dietz could turn into something for us. But we're not quite done in the draft. We still have to get this medium league potential goaltender. Now, although we have $12 million in cap space, we can't get greedy here. More than likely, Frondel's not going to be returning to the team. I can't do $9.1 million. We're likely going to be trading you away here. Ludwinski, you're going to be leaving. McGroarty's going to be leaving. Green's leaving. We're bringing Doherty to the team, though. 80 overall, 20 years old. He's got low league potential. It's time for him to get his entry-level contract. That's going to be a good deal for us. With everyone else, though, they're all going to be walking. I'll sign this rookie right here, but other than that, I think everyone's gone. Now, I was a little bit scared of this happening, but Connor Bedard, he's not interested in an extension. So how much money do you want? I can't do that. I can't only do 1 year here, so we're going to have to hold off with Connor Bedard. Ryan Leonard, I would be willing to bring you back to the team at the right price, and this is the right price. So we'll do $9 million for the next 4 with Ryan Leonard, and then we'll hold off with Connor Bedard because I got to sign him to a longer term deal than just 1 year. Oliver Moore, I think we're just going to ride out your contract, depending on what your trade value is though, because we could move you. Also, Alex Ayev, I can't pass up on this deal. This is an incredible contract. 5.8 for the next 5 years. Connor Bedard, we'll figure your situation out a little bit later. Bro, what happened to you? You were playing second line minutes for me. What happened? You went from 70 points to 30 points. I know 20 of those points were on the power play, but even still, he completely fell off. That was one of the worst trades I've ever made. Yeah, Matt Wood, we gotta ship you out here. I don't care what we get for you. I just have to get you off the books. Like, I gave up a decent player for Matt Wood, so that's why it hurts a little bit more. I'll send him over to Montreal for that RFA. We just have to clear up that cap space. Like, we traded Chinikov away. We did not cook there. Okay, so we took Matt Wood off the team, and that clears up about $6 million. So Frondel, do you want to rejoin the team? I can do 8.3 for the next 4 years. He's going to be accepting that. How much cap space does that leave us with? That's going to give us $29 million. I think that's enough for Bedard when he needs his deal. So Connor Bedard was finally able to win a Stanley Cup. It's a great day, but 1 Stanley Cup isn't good enough for Connor Bedard. I want to give him the career he deserves, so that means 5 Stanley Cups for Connor Bedard, and that's at the bare minimum. Denton Matejchuk, you're slowly turning into an all-star franchise potential. Like, we locked you down to an incredible deal. 7.2 for the next 3 years. Eventually, when I want to move on from you, we're going to get a ton of assets. But yeah, the team's looking amazing. Even Ravensburgen has an X factor. Nothing's going to stop us. us. Okay, Connor Bedard is starting to really confuse me here. We're 4th in the entire league, a 52-25-5 record. We were terrible after the trade deadline. Bedard had 95 points this season. He seems to have one really good season, then a mid-season. Really good, mid. This season, it was kind of mid. Last season, really good, 104 points, 74 goals. I mean, I guess it's only a 9-point difference here. I am comparing to a couple years ago when he had 123 points, but I don't think he'll ever get back to that again. I don't know what it is. Connor Bedard's just not the same player he was when he was 24 years old. I don't know how that makes any sense. Gavin McKenna and Matt Boldy are still a point a game, so the first line's still looking incredible. The goaltending here is looking fantastic. Ravensburg in 42 wins, 6 shots, a 910 to 257, but we have a job to do here, and that's win a Stanley Cup. We have Utah in the first round. We better lock in. We won a Stanley Cup last season. Just want to point this out. We're not losing 4 games in a row and getting eliminated in 5 games, are we? We're just not going to do that. We're going to win game number 5. Now we have to win game number 6 here. Don't get eliminated in the first round. We're trying to go back to back here, and y'all are about to get eliminated in the first round. I don't know why this team struggles with the first round so much. We're allowing 2 goals in the first period. Both of them are coming from Matthews. Moving into the second, we're going to be responding. It's Connor Bedard and Gavin McKenna. We have to lock it in the third period in order to win this game, and that's what we're doing. We're winning 3 straight games. We made the 3-1 series comeback. We have to get a Stanley Cup now. So ignore the first 4 games of the series. We were terrible in those games. After that though, we figured it out, winning 3 straight games. We're going to keep the winning streak going against the Minnesota Wild. Like, we've won 3 in a row. We figured out what we have to do in order to win games, and that's have the offense looking elite and the defense looking elite, and that's what we saw in game number 1, a 6-1 victory. But after that, things have not gone our way. We split the series with Minnesota. I was a little bit concerned heading into game 4, but as long as this series is evened up, we're going to be in a good spot. Moving into game 5, we're going to steal that one away, and let's steal game 6 away and move on to the conference finals, and that's exactly what we're doing. So far, Ravensburgen's been elite. In the past 4 games, he's only allowed 1 goal, and one of those games we lost 1-0 because we can't score because we're frauds, but that's neither here nor there. We're moving into the conference finals. The San Jose Sharks are up next. The defense has been spectacular. We're back in the cup final. At one point, we were down 3-1 in the first round, but we fought all the way back, and we're in the Stanley Cup final. Ravensburgen's been an absolute superstar. The offense has been flying as well. I just need 4 more elite games. We allowed 7 goals in game number 1. We were down 3-0 in the series. Luckily, we won game number 4. Can we steal game 5? Yes, we can. Now we have to steal game number 6. Please steal game 6. We're winning games without me jumping into them, so I'm not jumping into game 7. We're just going to simulate game 7, and we lost 4-3. We had won 3 straight games without me jumping in. I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to jump into this game, and we're losing 4-3 in the Stanley Cup final with a chance to go back-to-back. We're falling in 7 games. You know what? I can't even be mad about it because we shouldn't have put ourselves in that position. We shouldn't have lost the first 3 games of that series. Connor Bedard, 16 goals, 8 assists, 24 points. Matt Boldy, 24. Gavin McKenna, 24. Frondell's picking up 22. Ryan Leonard, 20. Hicketts is picking up 18 here. We just let ourselves down. I can't blame any particular person on this team. We shouldn't lose the first 3 games of that series. If we just won one of those first 3 games, we're Stanley Cup champions. But nope, we choked when it mattered most, lost the 3 most important games being the first 3 games, and we weren't able to recover from that. Yes, we did get to game 7, but we couldn't win game 7. Also, I'm getting ahead of myself here. We got the 12th overall pick from the Islanders. We have to pay Connor Bedard. What am I doing here? Like, let's chill out here. I have to go pay that man. Connor Bedard, how much money are you going to be looking for? You're still not interested in an extension. Please do multiple years. Okay, we can get this done. So we'll do $17.5 million with a full no movement. So we're doing $17.5 million for the next 6 seasons with a full no movement. Connor Bedard, welcome back to the team. I know you're going to be accepting this. I don't know why you just don't accept on the spot. Now we have the 12th overall pick here, and this is going to be a very easy selection. Henriksen, welcome to the team. I believe you're like a high 70 overall player. Okay, never mind. It's a low 70 overall, but a 72 overall player in the first round, I'll certainly take it. But you know what? The 12th overall pick probably isn't the best player we got. We got a low league potential sniper who's starting off as 67 overall. Now, unfortunately, it's not a medium league potential forward or a defenseman. But you know what? I'll take a goaltender here. Now, we got ourselves another medium league potential defenseman, but this one's a bit special because he's a gem. And usually when I get medium league potential gems, they really turn into studs. Now, I think we're going to end up making a lot of trades here. Oliver Moore is going to be leaving the team. Massar is going to be leaving the team. Beecher is going to be leaving the team. I'm perfectly fine with that. We're going to sign a couple of these rookies, but we're going to have to make some big moves because there's a lot of guys looking for extensions and we just don't have the money. I shouldn't say there's a lot of people looking for extensions. I know Zane Perek wants one, but I also know Zane Perek's going to want about 15 million. So here's everyone that needs an extension. There's a lot of medium league potential players here. We can't afford all of them. Kevin Foote, though, we could probably get a really good deal done with you. 4.7 for the next 2. What if we did an 8-year deal? He wants 6.8. Okay, we're not doing an 8-year deal with him. I was just curious if we could get a really good deal done. When it comes to Zane Parekh, how much does he want? 12.2 million actually isn't terrible. Then again, we don't need another superstar right defenseman on the team. We already have Levshinov. I think we're going to go make some big trades here. I think we have to figure out who's going to be playing big minutes for us in the future, and that's going to decide a lot of these signings. Because Barball, I'm not going to lie, if I could lock you down for the next 8 years and you could play a top 6 role for me, I wouldn't be against it. Vitaly, I actually wouldn't be against giving you a multi-year deal here. I could do 6.8 million for the next 4 years. 6.8 for the next 4. He's an 84 overall. We give him a bigger role. He can develop into an 88 overall, and then we can move him later down the line. But 6.8 million, I like that contract right there, so he's going to be returning. Also, Camponi, I definitely want to do a long-term deal with you. When I say long-term, I'm just talking 4 years. I'll do 4 years at 2.5 million. Actually, he's not really interested in 4 years. How about we do 3? We do 3 years at 2.3 million. That works for me. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to do. Carter Yakimchuk's going to be sent over to Toronto. We're going to bring in Pickard. He's a good young left defenseman, medium league potential. I'm going to give him another season in juniors to develop, and then he'll join the team. And then when it comes to Zane Parekh, I'm making a deal with the LA Kings where I'm picking up 2 medium league potential players as well as 3 first-round picks. Maybe not 3 first-round picks. You're going to give me at least 2 in this deal. I'll swap first-rounders with you. I feel like our first-round picks aren't going to have nearly as much value. You're interested in these picks because you're a rebuilding team. You don't want to give up your first-round picks, but you want Zane Parekh, so you're going to accept this deal. I'm offering this package over. LA is going to be accepting. Okay, holy absolute fleece. William Schultz, welcome to the team. 21 years old, you're an 81 overall with medium league potential. I'm going to give you a chance to develop here. I'll give you a no movement. I don't even care. $3 million for the next 8 years with a no movement in the final 4 years. By the time we get to the final 4 years, we're going to know what you're about here. I think that's an incredible contract. Meanwhile, you guys remember Shane Crabbe? Well, he's still a part of the team. $850K for the next 2. He might even play some 4th line minutes this season. Meanwhile, this defenseman, he's certainly going to be playing 3rd line minutes for me. We're going to be locking him down 2 more years at $1 million. Did I say 3rd line minutes or 3rd pairing minutes? Well, same difference. So a majority of the important players on this team are signed. The top 6 is looking the exact same. The bottom 6 saw a couple changes, but nothing crazy. The defense saw the biggest changes. Yakimchuk left the team, Zane Parekh left the team, but we have guys that can take their spots. We have an amazing system here. Like, we continue to bring in great players to replace those guys in the bottom 6. When we need to replace guys in the top 6 and the top 4, we just make a couple trades. Ravensburgen, you've been able to win 1 Stanley Cup with us, but 1 Stanley Cup isn't good enough. Go win me a couple more. So the trend's going to continue. Bedard records 100 points, then he records 90. Then he records 100, then he records 90. This season, he's back up to 100 points, 55 goals, 53 assists. I don't know what it is, but it's literally 100 points, 90 points, 100 points, 90 points, 100 points, 90 points, 100 points. This started back in 2028. We're in 2034, and it's literally 100 points, 90 points, 100 points, 90 points. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that's the case, but we're just going to live with it because the team still looks elite here. Goaltending's fantastic. Ravensburgen, you only have exact start potential. You're an absolute fraud. I gave you absolutely everything you needed to be an elite goaltender, and you didn't develop. We're taking on Utah in the first round. Last time we saw Utah, they put up a pretty big fight. I'm not too sure if we're prepared. Like, normally I would say Utah's not prepared for us. I don't think we're prepared for Utah. I would not be overly surprised if we got absolutely smoked here and were eliminated in the first round. And why is that? Because this team just seems to be frauds. We're winning game number 1. That's a good sign. Or at least I think we're winning game number 1. Yes, we are 4-1. We're moving into game 2. We're stealing game 2 away. If we steal game 3, I'll have a lot of confidence in this team. I have confidence. As long as you close it out, though, we're going to blow a 3-0 series lead. I've seen it before, and I'll see it again here. We're going to blow a 3-0 series lead. We're not going to win game number 5. I'm very surprised we won game number 5. You know what? The team's actually looking pretty good here. We're taking on the best team in the entire league in the Minnesota Wild. I think we should build on our momentum. In the first round, we look pretty solid, and I want that to continue into round number 2. We're going to win 1-0 in game number 1, 2-0 in game 2. Okay, that's not going to be happening. That streak wasn't going to continue. We weren't going to win 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. We've dropped back-to-back games. As long as it's not 3 straight, we'll be in a good spot here. We split the series with Minnesota. They're the best team in the NHL, but we're competing with them. We are facing elimination, though, so I mean, Yeah, what are we doing? It's one thing to compete with Minnesota. It's another thing to beat them. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to beat. We're scoring 4 goals in the first period. I think it's safe to say that this one's going to be a close finish because at one point we had a 5-1 lead and now we only have a 1-goal lead. Y'all better not choke this. We're not going to choke it. 7 goals is going to be enough in this game. But that was really close. I mean, to be fair, we always knew this was going to be a competitive series, so the fact that we're in Game 7 here, not much of a surprise. I will point this out. I don't think we've won a Game 7 yet. So with that being said, how about we win Game 7 here? McKenna and Bedard in the first period. Moving into the second, Bedard once again. Is he going to pick up the hat trick in the third period? Yes, he is. Connor Bedard, a hat trick when it mattered most, allowing us to finally win a Game 7 game. That's actually not true. I don't know why I said that. Now that I'm thinking about it, we made a 3-1 series comeback not that long ago. Didn't we make a 3-1 series comeback in literally the last postseason? That means we won a Game 7 last postseason. I am absolutely yapping. All I know is our record in Game 7 isn't that great. We're about to move on to the Stanley Cup Final. All we have to do is win one more game here, beat Nashville, and we're moving on. And that's exactly what's happening. We're back in the Stanley Cup Final for the 3rd year in a row. And I just want to point out, Chris Knoblauch is still our head coach. We have made it to 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals with Chris Knoblauch. With Rick Tocchet, we could barely make it out of the first round. So we're back in the Cup Final once again. Connor Bedard, it's time for you to get another Stanley Cup here. Things just aren't looking the greatest for us. We split the series with the Devils. We need to win game number 5. We're winning game 5. Close it out in game 6. Game 6 is the most important game. If we go to game 7, we're going to lose here. We need to win game 6, and that's what we're doing. The Chicago Blackhawks, Stanley Cup champions. Connor Bedard's getting cup number 2 here. The legacy continues to grow. With Chris Knoblauch, this team's made it to 3 straight cup finals, and we've been able to win 2 of them. I think Rick Tocchet was holding us back. I'm going to be honest, it was all Rick Tocchet's fault. Connor Bedard, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points. Gavin McKenna, 24 points. Matt Boldy, 24. With these numbers, I'm assuming Connor Bedard's going to be taking home the Conn Smythe. I'd be shocked if he wasn't, and it looks like he is. He's going to be the Conn Smythe winner here. And Ravensburgen, you did what you had to. A 923 and a 239. Maybe you should have taken home the Conn Smythe because these are absolutely elite numbers, but we got to give it to Connor Bedard. Gavin McKenna got it when we won our first cup. It's time for Connor Bedard to get his. But you know what? There is a very simple solution here. We just win a Stanley Cup next season and Ravensburg gets his Conn Smythe. Then Connor Bedard gets one, Gavin McKenna gets one, Ravensburg gets one, and everyone's happy. You know what? I don't think we've done enough of winning yet. How about we get the 6th overall pick from the LA Kings? This team continues to fleece. Okay, this is about to be the greatest offseason of all time. Kevin Foote is going to sign a fantastic contract with the team. We're going to be looking at 4.4 for the next 5 years. I think he's going to play second line minutes for us. Barball, I want to thank you for the great times here. I'm trading you away with the 6th overall pick because we got a franchise star on the way. All right, it's time for us to make a splash here. I'm bringing the 1st overall pick to the team. It's a no-brainer here. We're looking at a franchise potential player. Florida's the team that was dead last in the NHL. You know what? It just brings a smile to your face. The fall-off has finally happened for the Florida Panthers. Why do I care about that future second rounder? I don't care about it whatsoever. I don't even care about our future first round picks. I'll throw in a 2035 second round pick. Hopefully that's going to be enough. They're still saying no. We actually might have to give up a lot more in this deal than I was expecting. Hopefully this is going to be enough right here. Okay, what else do we have to throw in here? Who am I willing to trade away? Like, I'll trade a forward away here if I have to. Smiles honestly could be that guy. I don't really know where he's going to fit in the lineup. He has some good potential right now. He has good trade value, so we could throw him into this deal. Ideally, I don't trade him away. Dietz. We trade Dietz away. He's a 74 overall, 21 years old. That's the easy move here. So I'll send this package over to Florida. They're saying no. I might have to trade LA's first round pick for next season. I don't want to trade that first round pick because they're not going to be a good team. But if we have to, I will. We're throwing in the first round pick. We are going all out to get the 1st overall pick here. I need this franchise potential player. Wow, we gave up a lot. We gave up a lot in that deal. I think we probably got fleeced, but not really. We're getting a medium franchise potential player. He's projected number 1. He's an 83 overall franchise potential, 52 goals and 73 assists. Bro is built different. He already has elite shooting stats, but he's not going to be joining the team immediately. We don't have a spot for him in the lineup quite yet, but you know what? That's perfectly fine because when he does join our team, he's probably going to be a 90 overall. Now, nothing's happening during the re-sign phase. I'm going to sign 2 rookies, but other than that, we're just running it back with the same team. Now, this is going to get expensive. Levshinov, Matejchuk, Hicketts, Doherty. I can't afford all of you guys. we're going to have to pick certain players to come back to this team. Lev Shinov, how much money are you looking for? $18 million is a number. It's a number I'm not really too sure if I can work with. Matejchuk, how much are you looking for? $13 million. Does Matejchuk become our number one defenseman? He's a 94 overall, 50 points last season. How many points did Lev Shinov have? Like, Lev Shinov's 1 year younger than Matejchuk. Lev Shinov had 65 points. This is a difficult decision because I like both of these players and I think both of them could be great for us. Denton Matejchuk's willing to sign a more reasonable contract. I feel like $18 million for Lev Shinov just isn't going to work here. We're going to test out the trade market. We're going to see what's out there. We might make a move. Okay, this is going to be probably the riskiest trade we make here. Lev Shinov to the Oilers for 5 first-round picks. Now, the reason I'm making this deal is I don't like this Oilers team. They're a really old team. They don't have that much salary cap space, so they're not going to be much better than this. Like, DeBrincat's 36, he's an 89 overall. Coronado's 87 overall, 31 years old. Nathan McKinnon, 87 overall, 38 years old. They're a very old team. They're about to enter the rebuild, and they're going to enter the rebuild without any of their first round picks. I'm going to own all of them. So now that Lev Shinov's traded, we're going to go over to the Calgary Flames. We're going to pick up this defenseman right here. It's $11.6 million for the next 4 years. He has a modified no trade clause in his final season, 2019 protection. I can work with that. $11.6 million isn't that bad of a cap hit. On top of that, we're going to get the player that was drafted 2nd overall behind our franchise star, and then 3 first round picks. I'm not really sure if we're going to be able to get 3 first round picks here, but we might be able to get all of this for Denton Matejchuk. They're saying no. We'll swap first rounders. I'll give you my first round pick for 2036. Is that going to be enough here? It's a little bit low. Yeah, we're fleecing. Ideally, the Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames are both terrible, and then these first round picks turn to the 1st and 2nd overall. Now, with the way the roster is constructed right now, we don't really need Hickett, so I'm going to trade him over to the Red Wings. We're getting Mathot and Bieksa here. Both of them are going to play bottom 6 minutes for us in the future, but they're 2 young players that could potentially develop, so I think we'll be good. But speaking of the bottom 6, let's work on these contracts right here. Doherty, we can do 1.4 for the next 2 years. I think that's a really good contract for you. You're accepting immediately. Keeler, I'm probably looking at the exact same with you. We're actually going to do a little bit less than that, 1.3 for the next 2 years. That's a steal. Mathot, you're not looking for an extension, but I don't really care. You're going to get one. This is a bit expensive though, but you know what? We have the cap space. Here's 2.5 for the next 2. Before we get crazy though, Ravensburgen needs another deal. We already know what this guy's about, and he's finally looking for his big bag, but you know what? We can do this. So it is 8.5 for the next 6 sound. It's 2.3 million more than what you're getting paid right now, but you've been a big time performer for us. You've been really consistent so far, so I'm okay with keeping you here. Now, I actually forgot to do this, but I was going to trade Pickard earlier for Matt Schaefer because we need another right defenseman on the team. Matt Schaefer could be that guy, 87 overall. He plays on the left and right side. He's under contract for 5 more years at $7.8 million. There is one problem that we are going to have. 3 of our defensemen's contracts are all expiring at the same time. But you know what? We'll deal with that when we have to. Now, this is a big season right here. This is Bedard's final season as a 20-year-old. Moving into next season, he's going to be 30, and that means we're going to have to start watching on his regression. I have seen players like Connor Bedard play till they're 42. I've also seen them retire at 36 years old. So we might have another 12 seasons here. We might only have 6 seasons. All we know is we have to win this man a couple more Stanley Cups. The defense is looking really solid. Goaltending's looking amazing. Ravensburgen's been the guy for a very long time here. Chris Knobloch as our head coach, you've got us into the Stanley Cup Final a handful of times. Let's continue that trend. Now, I believe this is our first 60-win season, a 62-14-6 record. Since we brought Chris Knobloch in, we've been unstoppable. There has been no team able to compete with us, except for that one team that beat us in the Stanley Cup Final that we won't talk about. Connor Bedard, 111 points, including 65 goals. Matt Boldy, 103 points. Gavin McKinnon, 98 points. We are absolutely flying here. There is one thing that we do need, though, an elite power play coach. I have hired and fired probably 10 different power play coaches. All of them suck. I don't know what it is. None of them fit with our team. I talk to our players. I try to get them to adapt to our power play coach. It just doesn't work. Nobody wants to work on the power play, and that's probably the reason why we haven't won more cups. Like, for the amount of amazing talent, we should have a power play that's better than 12th in the entire league. We should be number 1 every season. But you know what? We're not worried about that. We're worried about the fact that we're currently down 2-1 in the series. Why have we dropped back-to-back games here? That's not what the Chicago Blackhawks do anymore. We make it to the Stanley Cup Final and then win probably 50% of the time. You 1000% did not hear a phone ding. Nope, you didn't hear an iPhone ding whatsoever. That didn't happen. That is a perfect example of why I always put my phone on do not disturb when recording videos. If not, you would hear that way too often. So we took down the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games. We're moving on to the second round, and what a surprise, Nashville's appeared once again. Now, we've seen Nashville a couple times in the postseason. They usually put up some good fights, but Chicago always finds a way to get past them. We've won the first 2, make that the first 3. They're going to avoid the sweep with a shutout in game number 4, but that's fine. We'll just shut them out in game number 5, and we'll move on to the conference finals, because that's where we deserve to be. It's not quite a shutout, but you know what? A win is a win is a win is a win. We're moving on to the conference finals. I don't know who's going to be up next. Maybe the Vegas Golden Knights. It's going to be the Vegas Golden Knights. Also, I just realized we played Edmonton in the first round. We own all of their first round picks. I thought they were going to be a terrible team. Nope. They somehow made it into the postseason. We're currently trailing in the conference finals. There's a lot of things that you hate to see here. There's a handful of positive things. Now there's a handful of negative things. But all you have to know is we're going to beat the Vegas Golden Knights here, and we're going to game 7 after we score this goal in overtime. Shout to foot. So here we go. We got game 7 between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Vegas Golden Knights. We're looking to make it back to the Stanley Cup Final for the 4th year in a row here. But if we want to do that, we need a big third period. We're trailing entering the third, but that's fine because we're picking up 3 goals right here. That's what we do. Oh, that is not what we do. We allowed 4 unanswered and lost 7-3. Wow, I don't think I've seen something age that poorly that quick. I said we were going to score 3 goals and win the game. We allowed 4 unanswered and lost 7-3. That's tough. So we got blown out in game 7. None of the first round picks we traded for are going to have a ton of value. Connor Bedard had 14 goals in 18 games. This is an absolute shame right here. We finally win 60 plus games and we get eliminated in game 7 by allowing 7 goals. 7 goals allowed in game 7. That just shouldn't be happening. Or at least I don't think we have any first round picks at play. Never mind, we got the 6th overall. We'll take it. I completely forgot that we had Calgary's picks. So yeah, I guess that's working out for us. I will say with that Edmonton trade we made, sending Levshunov over for 5 first round picks, although it doesn't look like a good trade right now, Edmonton's getting older. So don't be surprised if they take a step back next season and then that first round becomes the top 5 pick. But we're going to be walking away with a medium elite potential playmaker with the 6th overall pick. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. I thought we were getting like an 80 overall player, but he's a 66 overall? What are we doing here? I drafted you 5th overall. What's the 7th overall pick looking like? Oh, we got fleeced. We drafted this man strictly on potential. We did not get the best player available. I am actually sick to my stomach. We got a 66 overall with the 6th overall pick. We would have been better off with the 7th overall pick, the 8th overall pick, the 9th overall pick. I need to find a player lower than a 66 overall here. I know he has medium elite potential, but even still, a 66 overall. We were at the 14th overall pick, and we finally found another player who's a 66 overall. Where is a player below that with the 15th overall pick? I think we got fleeced here. I mean, you give him a couple more seasons to develop, he might be able to turn into something, but I don't like this whatsoever. We drafted a project player with 6th overall. Are we getting another medium elite potential player? Nope, we're getting a medium top 6 potential player who's a 66 overall. Ain't no way. Now, we don't have to worry about giving out any big extensions here. We're just going to be signing a handful of medium-elite potential goaltenders, a couple good young rookies, and that's it. So the re-sign phase is going to be very forgettable here. Alright, so Matt Boldy, you're aging out on me. You're 34 years old. You're not the player you used to be. I mean, you technically are. You're still a 91 overall, but we have to free up a little bit of cap space. Oberg and a first round pick is going to be acquired. That move was mainly done to free up cap space because Gavin McKenna needs an extension, and I need to bring him back to this team. Like, McKenna's not even interested in an extension, and when it comes to his extension, he's looking for an absolute bag here, 19.5 million, and he doesn't want a penny less. I mean, he's actually willing to accept a penny less, but you know what? That's beside the point. We're bringing Gavin McKenna back to this team, 17.5 million for the next 7 years. He's going to be staying on the top line alongside Connor Bedard. These 2 guys are our future. Unfortunately, with this move, more than likely that means Frondell's going to have to leave the team, but that's just the way it goes. We can't afford to keep everyone here. Now, we're 1 season away from bringing that franchise potential player to the team, and we're going to play him out of position next season. He's being our right winger on the top line. It's going to be him, Connor Bedard, Gavin McKenna. They're going to light the lamp. We just need to surround them with a bunch of good players, and we'll be fine. That first line is going to carry the way for us. We just need 3 superstars, and that's what we're going to have. We're giving him 1 more season to develop just based on the salary cap situation of this team, but once he joins the team, he's immediately going to be a star. So I guess the trend's going to continue here. The Chicago Blackhawks are first in the entire league, but last season Connor Bedard had over 100 points. So you know what that means? He can only have 99 this season. Gavin McKenna 88, Frondell 76. Oberg, you were a massive disappointment. I was expecting you to do big things here. You're a 60-point player, I'm likely going to trade you away next season. Ravensburgen, 47 wins, 5 shouts, a 910 to 241. You're holding up your end of the bargain like usual, but that's during the regular season. You're probably one of the greatest regular season goaltenders of all time. However, in saying that, we haven't won enough Stanley Cups, and that's what really matters. So we know it's important here, and that's winning Stanley Cup. So let's do that against Utah. I mean, we're not winning a Stanley Cup against Utah. We're just getting out of the first round. But we have to lose game number 1, because why wouldn't we lose game number 1? And why wouldn't we lose the first 3 games of the series and likely get swept because this team is full of frauds? Yeah, no, we're done with this postseason. We're not making the comeback. Yeah, let's just get this over with. Let's just simulate to the end of the postseason. We're not winning 4 games in a row here. Yeah, we're done. After shutting them out in back-to-back games, we're getting shut out, because that's just the way it goes. Yeah, so Oberg's already gone. He's out the door. That franchise potential player is going to be jumping onto the first line. We need Connor Bedard, Gavin McKenna, and him to carry the way here. Like, just look at this entire team. Absolute frauds when it mattered most. We just couldn't score in the important games. We couldn't score at all during that series. Ravensburgen, 2 shouts, a 905 and a 268. These aren't bad. This team is just bad. Now, I would like to say this makes up for us losing in the first round, but that's an absolute lie. We're getting the 10th overall pick and the 12th overall pick, but I don't care, because that's not a Stanley Cup. All right, we're going to do something really stupid here. We're taking an absolute swing. The 10th overall and the 12th overall, we're going to try to get the first from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, what are we going to get with the first overall pick? I couldn't tell you. We have unknown scouting on the guy projected first overall, but we're just taking a swing here. We might be walking away with a superstar. We might be walking away with a medium league potential player. Who knows what we're walking away with? Where's that 67 overall I drafted last season? I'm throwing you into this deal. I think this should be enough for the first overall pick. It is. Now, what are we walking away with? We could get a franchise potential player. We can get a medium league potential player who's a 66 overall. Who knows what we're getting here? Medium league potential, 81 overall. You know what? That wasn't a terrible trade. 51 goals, 51 assists. He'll develop in juniors for a couple seasons. I don't hate the deal. I would have preferred a franchise potential player, but it was worth the risk. And I guess one elite potential player isn't enough here. We're going to be picking up a second one late in the 3rd round. So you already know what we got to do here. Our franchise potential player, who's a 91 overall, is finally jumping into the lineup. He's already got 5 X factors. That's a no-brainer. Frondell, unfortunately, you're going to have to leave the team here. And you know what? I would trade you away anyway. $14 million. You're wildin'. When it comes to everyone else here, they're probably all going to be walking because I can't see any of these guys doing 2-way contracts. Like, I'm sorry, but Hedberg, you got to help me here. You want a 1-year contract at $1.3 million, and you're a 75 overall. Your qualifying offer is $1.1 million. I'm not doing that. So remember how last season we made a big time move and we brought Oberg to the team? Boy, was that a mistake. But he has lost all of his trade value. We might not even be able to get 2nd round picks for him. He was an absolute bust. Yeah, can we get 1 2nd round pick at least? No, this is wild. We gave up a medium league potential player to get this man. Now we're walking away with 2 3rd round picks if we're lucky. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even think we're going to get 2 3rd rounders. We're getting 1 future 3rd round pick for this guy. That's crazy. So it's time for us to load up this top line. Connor Bedard, Xander Noakes, Gavin McKenna on the first line. Smiles, Foot, Leonard on the second. Y'all better show up for me. It has been too long since we've won a Stanley Cup. We should have won significantly more Stanley Cups in this video, but that's going to change right now. Ravensburgen, you're an 85 overall. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. So there's nothing I need to say. We know what this team's about. They're about losing in the first round after having historic seasons. 66 wins this season, and we all know what's going to happen. 3 100-point scorers. Noakes is picking up 105 points, including 51 goals. Like, this team is absolutely elite. And we're elite up until the postseason, where we're about to absolutely collapse because we all know what's going to happen. We're taking on Vegas. Let's get this over with quick. Okay, this is by far the most interesting matchup that we've ever had, just because of who Vegas' starting goaltender is. I'm not going to mention it right now. I'll mention it after. We're dropping game number 1. I am sick to my stomach. We're responding game 2, dropping game 3. If we lose this series, I'm actually going to lose my mind. We split the series with Vegas. We're moving into game number 5. We got to win this one. We can't afford to lose that one. An overtime victory. Close it out in game 6. We need to close this out in game number 6. We'll lose game 7. There's no way this is happening. Alright, well, if you're wondering who Vegas' starting goaltender is, it's Jack Ivankovich. A man we drafted and a man we traded away. We have a 1-goal lead entering the 3rd period. 1 goal isn't going to be enough. We're going to lose this one, aren't we? Oh, never mind. We're going to win 2-0. We got lucky there. Jack Ivankovic, we drafted you and traded you a long time ago, or at least I think we drafted you. I might be completely wrong, and it might be a different medium elite potential goaltender we drafted. I do remember in year number 1, we did draft 3 medium elite potential goaltenders. I believe one was Ravensburg, one was a gem, and I think the other was Jack Ivankovic. I might be completely wrong there, but I feel like we did draft that man. We're splitting the first 2 games, we're winning back-to-back games, making that 3 straight games. We're 1 game away from the conference finals. All we have to do is win 1 more here, and we're gonna blow a 3-1 series lead. I just don't have faith in this team, but you know what? Why should I have faith in us? We have proven time and time again we're gonna choke when the games matter most. We've moved into the conference finals. We're winning game number 1, winning game 2. We won game number 4 as well. Closed out in game 5. We're in the Stanley Cup Final. This team has made it back to the Stanley Cup Final after a couple disappointing seasons. We're back where we belong. So here we go. Only one more team stands in front of us. That's gonna be the New Jersey Devils. And are we gonna take them down to sweep? Yes, we are. The Chicago Blackhawks are back on top. We're Stanley Cup champions once again. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think we would ever make it back here. I didn't think we would ever win another Stanley Cup with this team, but we did. And Gavin McKenna, Bedard, and Noakes led the way for us. The big 3 was what we needed here. I shouldn't really be that surprised. Also, when it comes to goaltending, Ravensburgen was really good, like 16 wins, 3 shots, a 920 and a 236. He helped quite a bit. Did he take home the Conn Smythe though? That's the real question. Probably not. It doesn't look like it. But he's won 4 Vezinas and 5 William Jennings. Okay, bro might be one of the greatest goaltenders of all time, and I didn't know. But who did end up taking home the Conn Smythe for us? It's either Connor Bedard or Gavin McKenna. I think it should be Connor Bedard, and it looks like it was. So 3 cups, 2 Conn Smythes, 3 Hart Memorials, 3 Ted Lindsays, an Art Ross, 3 Rocket Richards, and the Calder. Bro's got himself a legacy here, but that legacy is going to continue to grow because we're going to keep on winning here, and we're probably going to have a top 5 pick here. Which pick are we going to be getting? The 15th overall. I thought it would be better than that, I'm not going to lie. So with the 15th overall pick we're getting from the Edmonton Oilers, we're walking away with Spalling. 65 overall, medium top 6 potential. He might be able to be a bottom 6 guy for us in the future. Now we've been securing a lot of medium top 6 potential forwards and medium top 4 potential defensemen, but we finally got a goaltender here with 128th overall, a medium elite goaltender. Well, there's nothing better than forgetting to give Ryan Leonard an extension because he's one of your key pieces. You have $22 million to work with. Oh, this is very reasonable. I'm not doing a no movement, but I can do $13 million. I'll do $12.8 million for the next 3 with Ryan Leonard, so he'll come back to the team. And then Smiles, how much are you looking for? You're playing bottom 6 minutes for me right now. We might be able to do this. I actually take that back. I'm going to qualify you as an RFA because I don't want to do $9 million for 1 year. Mathod, I'll qualify you as an RFA, and then with the rest of these guys, we're probably gonna have to find replacements. Well, here goes all of our money. We have to re-sign basically every one of our defensemen here. I can't do $20 million. That's basically all of our money. Alexeyev, how much are you looking for? $16 million. I can't do that. We're rebuilding the defense here. Unless you're willing to sign like $12 million like Jace here, you're not coming back because $12 million is perfect, especially on an 8-year deal. Like these are the contracts I need. $11 million for the next 8. That's an absolute steal. He's returning to the team. Smiles, I can't bring you back to the team. We have to make a handful of changes here. We need to bring in some guys on longer term deals. We have to do something to shake things up. Like we want a Stanley Cup. I don't want to shake things up too much here, but when it comes to extensions, we can't lose all of these guys. All right, so this is what we're going to do with Boutin. We're going to send him over to the Red Wings. We're bringing in Barnett. He's under contract for the next 4 years at $5.2 million. That's a steal. Tallulah is also going to be brought in. He's on his entry level deal. He was just drafted first overall, and with him being drafted first overall, that tells me the Red Wings aren't the greatest team in the world. So give me 3 first round picks as well. It's a little bit low. We're getting this one done. So we're going to have a lot of first round picks to work with. We're going to have Edmonton's. We're going to have ours. Yeah, we're going to be in a pretty good spot here. Here's a 7th round pick. I'll just give you a 3rd round pick. Like at the end of the day, a 3rd round pick doesn't have that much value either. So hopefully that's going to be enough to make the difference. Do I have to trade all of my later round picks? Here's an Anaheim Ducks 3rd rounder. Hopefully that's going to be enough here. There we go. Now we're not done yet with the trades. We're going to bring in 2 more defensemen from the Boston Bruins as well as 2 first round picks for Alexeyev. He was a great player for us, but you know what? We have to head a different direction based on how much everyone wants. I'll include our first round pick for 2038 because obviously we're going to be an elite team. We don't need that first round pick. We also don't need our first round pick for next season. Like I'll trade both of these picks away. We're just swapping first with Boston, and Boston's first round picks are definitely going to have more value. I'm surprised this isn't enough. Like Alexeyev almost has maxed out trade value. This should be more than enough. 1 second rounder is not good, so I guess we need 2. So 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and Alexeyev for 2 elite potential defensemen and 2 first round picks. Now one of those defensemen I traded for was on an expiring deal, but the reason I did that is because he's not high enough overall where he's going to be commanding $18 million. So we're going to be locking him down for the next 5 years at $7 million. That's a perfect deal for us. Okay, so I just realized this, but you know what? We're just going to completely ignore it. Victor Koriston, I'm going to keep you on this team at $3.9 million for the next 2 years. There's one issue with our forward core, but we're not going to worry about it. And what is that issue? Basically, everyone on this team is a centerman. But luckily, a centerman can play right wing and a centerman can play left wing. A left winger can't play center and a right winger can't play center, but centerman can move to the wings. I mean, a right winger or left winger could learn to play center, but it's way more difficult than a center learning to play left or right wing. Okay, this might be the first time where I've ever seen an offer sheet, and I'm actually really interested in taking it. Ernest Smiles is being offered a 2-year contract by the Seattle Kraken. If we take it, we get 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. I'm taking that. Give me those draft picks right there. Meanwhile, the Capitals are trying to offer sheet one of our goaltenders. That's not happening. I'll give them $1.8 million. Now, I'm really happy with how the team's looking right now. The first overall pick is going to be playing some second line minutes for me. The only thing I don't like is we won a Stanley Cup last season and then completely changed the defense. Like, we got rid of our 2-star defensemen and brought in a couple young guys. Are they going to be able to step up in the most important games? Can they play when the lights are the brightest? I'm hoping they can. Also, Ravensburgen, you might be losing your starting spot sooner than later because this goaltender is starting to look elite. He has elite potential and he's looking elite. 84 overall. You guys might be splitting starts this season. Who knows? All right, maybe our new defense was actually the move here because we were so good defensively. We were only allowing 2.27 goals per game. That's unheard of. Compared to every other team in the league, nobody could really compete with us. Like, we allowed 21 less goals than the Columbus Blue Jackets, and they were the second best team. We're 1 of 1 right now. Noakes is leading the way with 121 points. Connor Bedard is no longer the top guy here. Who would have thought we would ever see the day? 95 overall. Bedard isn't the best player on this team. Noakes is that man now. Gavin McKenna, 107 points. We're gonna have to clear up cap space for Noakes eventually because we have to make sure that he's staying on the first line alongside those 2 greats. Ravensburgen, you're still a number 1 guy here, and you know what? You proved it this season. 56 wins, 9 shots, a 922 and a 215. I'm not turning away from you. You have proved that you're our guy, but I need you to continue to be that guy in the postseason. Let's go back to back. So we already know what we have to do here. Win back-to-back Stanley Cups, and then we can finally say we've done it in this video because I don't think we've gone back-to-back. I think we won a Stanley Cup, lost a Stanley Cup, then won a Stanley Cup. We made it to 3 straight finals, but we didn't end up going back-to-back. We've won 3 straight games. Let's make it 4 straight. We're sweeping Nashville. So the Nashville Predators were no match for us, but unfortunately we have the greatest team of all time up next. St. Louis Blues. Now we're in the year 2038. I could not tell you who's on the St. Louis Blues team. More than likely it's almost all auto-generated players. We're splitting the first 2 games. We're winning game number 3. We're winning game number 4. 7-1 in the postseason. Can we make that 8-1 in the postseason and move on to the conference finals for the second year in a row? No, we can't, because we're going to be 8-2 moving into the conference finals as long as we don't blow a 3-1 series lead, and we're not going to be doing that. We're moving on to the conference finals. The Anaheim Ducks are the next team up. I don't think the Ducks are going to be able to stop us. We've won 3 in a row, make that 4 in a row. The offense has been spectacular. The defense has been absolutely elite here. Everything about this team has been incredible, and now we're in the Stanley Cup Final. We have the New York Islanders up next. One more team we have to beat. I will say, ever since we brought Chris Knoblauch to the team, everything has changed here. Rick Tocchet held this team back for far too many years. Now that Chris Knoblauch's here, we're looking at our 4th Stanley Cup, and we're going to sweep the Islanders. No, we're really them. Like, I don't recall how many years Chris Knoblauch's been here, but we have 4 Stanley Cups to our name. Connor Bedard, 30 points, 16 goals, 14 assists. Foot's picking up 27. Noakes is picking up 25. Gavin McKenna, 21. We're going to have a majority of the pieces coming back, but look at Josh Ravensburgen, 16 wins, 2 shouts, a 930 and a 184. Please tell me this man got the Conn Smythe. He didn't get the Conn Smythe. That's disrespectful. Connor Bedard would have got it, but that is disrespectful to Ravensburgen. He should have got it over Bedard. Bedard's got his 3rd Conn Smythe trophy, but he shouldn't have got this one. It should have went to Ravensburgen. He posted a 930 and a 184. We went 16-2. You gotta respect the king. Now we won a Stanley Cup, but here's the bigger question. Are we getting a top 5 pick here? Because we have a handful of picks available. We're getting the 2nd overall from Boston, the 4th overall from Chicago, the 9th overall from Seattle, and the 12th overall from Edmonton. We just went back to back, and now we have 4 picks in the top 12. Teams just don't do it like that nowadays. We already know that we have the 2nd overall pick in the 4th 4th overall pick. But you know what? While we're at it, why don't we get the 5th overall pick as well? We can bring 3 elite potential players to the team. We have 3 picks in the top 5. I'm perfectly fine with trading the 9th overall and 12th overall away. So with the 2nd overall pick, we're going to be drafting an offensive defenseman, 2nd overall. He's an 81 overall to start his career. I'm not going to bring him to the team immediately. I'm going to give him 2 seasons to develop. Then we're going to draft this player 4th overall. We don't know what his potential is, but he has medium elite potential, and we're going to take that. And then to finish it all off, one more medium elite potential player. This one's going to be a power forward. Never mind, he's a grinder. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of grinders. I really just don't like the way they sim. So Calgary, let's make a trade. You give me the medium elite potential player that you drafted 3rd overall, and I'll give you the medium elite potential player I drafted 5th overall. I don't think we're going to be able to go 1 for 1 here, but I'm going to offer 1 for 1. They need a 7th round pick. I'm perfectly fine with giving up a 7th in this deal. They basically have equal trade value here. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. So we just brought in 3 elite potential players. None of them are going to be joining the lineup quite yet, but they're going to be great pieces for us when they do. Now, you know what? I think trading away that grinder was definitely the right decision, because I'll just draft a grinder later in the draft here with the 72nd overall pick, a 60 overall grinder. You already know we're going to be flipping him elsewhere. So all those medium elite potential players that we drafted aren't going to be brought to the team yet. We just don't have the cap space for all of them. So we're going to hold off for 2 years, and then we'll bring them to the team. BXA, I'm going to qualify you as an RFA because I don't think we're going to have the money to keep you on this team. Betts, I don't think I have the money, so I'm going to qualify you as well. Mathod's going to be leaving. Henriksen's going to be leaving the team. Like, we only have $2 million in cap space, and we have to hand out some pretty big extensions next season, so we have to be careful where we spend our money. All right, so of course, Noakes has to come back to this team. Like, he's one of the key pieces. Connor Bedard has to come back to this team. We might be able to afford both of them. Of course, Connor Bedard's getting to no movement because he has to stay on this team. He's going to spend his entire career as a Chicago Blackhawk. We're going to be looking at $19.5 million for the next 4 years. So $19.5 for Connor Bedard is going to be keeping him on this team. Noakes, how much are you looking for? I need you for 8 years, but you're only looking at 4. That's not the end of the world because we'll get this deal done. Like, I might as well give you a no movement in that final season as well, because you're going to be staying on this first line. It's going to be you, Connor Bedard, and Gavin McKenna until the end of this video. You 3 guys have been an absolute powerhouse so far. $17 million to Noakes. He's returned to the team. So I was going to write out Matt Schaefer's contract. Then I realized he has some of the highest trade value in the league right now. Like, it makes no sense how much trade value this man has. So we're going to trade him away. We're bringing in 2 medium elite potential players, 3 first round picks. I don't even plan on keeping the medium elite potential players. I just want the first round picks, because those first rounders are going to turn into something, especially when you own this many. We have 5 first round picks heading into this upcoming draft. None of them are ours. They could easily be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th overall pick once we get the Toronto Maple Leafs first rounders. This is how you build a franchise. You don't let players walk for nothing. You just keep bringing in more first round picks every season. You never let a player walk for nothing. I mean, that's how you do it in a video game, because that's how I'm doing it. Obviously, in real life, you can't always do this. But you know what? In this universe, you can. Alright, so here's the plan moving forward. 6 elite forwards, 4 elite defensemen, and an elite goaltender. That's all we're going to need here. We'll pick up first round picks when we bring in these young rookies. They'll play bottom 6 minutes for us, but we don't need any more superstars on this team. Give me your first round pick on top of Pickard, and we'll be good here. We have enough amazing talent on this team. We have lots of first round picks. The cap situation's a problem because everyone's wanting $16-17 million. Noakes, Bedard, McKenna, you're the big 3 here. We need to surround you with an elite second line, and I think we have that. Corlston, you're going to play some big minutes on the second line for me. Tulala, I'm going to need some big minutes from you on the second line, and then we're also going to have Schultz probably on that second line. Corlston, I'm going to move you over to right wing. That's going to be our top 6. The rest of our bottom 6 is just going to be medium elite potential players. Remember how I said I wasn't going to sign those medium elite potential rookies? I changed my mind. They're all jumping into the lineup. Now, if we're going to be running 4 elite defensemen, we have to trade 2 of them away. Riz Miller, you're going to be 1. You're off to the LA Kings for a first round pick. The fact that I'm including a 7th rounder in this deal is a little bit ridiculous. Unless there's a franchise potential player available in this draft, I shouldn't have to give you a 7th round pick. You should accept this 1 for 1. Now, we're not done quite yet because we have one more player that we have to trade away, Camilleri. Do I actually hold on to you? Because if I trade you away, we actually might not even reach the salary cap floor. You know what? I don't even care about that. Give me 2 second round picks. Okay, I'm not getting 2 second rounders. We're just riding out his contract. If you're not going to give me at least 2 second round picks, we're just going to ride out that contract. So through making all the trades we did, we have cap space for this season, just not cap space for next season. JBXA, I'll give you 4.8 for 1 season. You can play 1 more year with the team. When it comes to Betts, we're basically going to be doing the exact same thing. Actually, we'll do a multi-year deal with him. I'll do 3 years at $2 million for a guy to play bottom 6 minutes for me at an 83 overall. I can't ask for a better deal than this. Actually, we're gonna have to do more than $2 million, 2.3 for the next 3, but even still, to play bottom 6 minutes at an 83 overall, I'll take that deal. All right, you might as well just call stick on the ice an absolute capper, because I lied to you. Remember how I said I was gonna sign all those mediumly potential rookies? I lied. We don't need them quite yet. We don't need them to jump into the lineup because we don't need their cheap contracts on the bottom 6. We have one more year here where we're gonna have an incredible top 9. After that, the third line is gonna be a bit weaker. The fourth line is gonna be a bit weaker. Even the defense is gonna be weaker because Camilleri is not coming back to the team. However, there is one thing we know about this team. Ravensburgen is an absolute dog. 87 overall, 3 X factors. We have an elite backup here. The three-peat's coming, and it's coming this season. Well, we've definitely learned something here. A 66, 13, and 3 record, that's not what I learned this season. I learned if you have one elite line, they are absolutely elite. Noakes is picking him 136, Connor Bedard 131, Gavin McKenna 110. Noakes was plus 102 this season. We need one elite line, one elite defensive pairing, and then nothing else matters outside of that. As long as you have shooters out there, they're going to shoot and they're going to score goals. Ravensburgen, once again, you're looking absolutely elite, but can we complete the three-peat here? I need 16 victories here in the postseason. Let's go get them. Now, we don't care about the regular season anymore. All we care about is the postseason and sweeping the Colorado Avalanche in the first round, because that's about to happen if we didn't lose that game in overtime. We'll close it out in game number 5 and move on to the second round. There's nothing wrong with that either, as long as we win game number 5, that's what we're doing. So we took down the Colorado Avalanche in 5 games. They didn't put much of a fight. I'm kind of hoping we get the same from Dallas. I just want to take them down to sweep. Now, Dallas, I'm not expecting you to do too much. I don't think you can really compete with this Chicago Blackhawks team. I think we're one of the greatest of all time. We have a 2-1 series lead, but now the series is all tied up. Game 5 is a big one. We can't afford to lose game 5. Game 5 is usually the most important game in a series, because now we're taking a 3-2 lead. One more victory and we're back in the conference finals, and that's where we're headed. Back-to-back shutouts from Ravensburgen. He is literally that guy. He is one of the greatest goaltenders of all time. He might go down as the greatest of all time. He's taken home all the Vezinas, all the Stanley Cups, all the William Jennings. There's nothing more this guy has to do, except he has to do one more thing: win 5 more games. One of them is going to be coming here in the conference finals, because we're not blowing a 3-0 series lead. Now he has to win 4 more games, and all 4 of them have to come against the Buffalo Sabres. Chris Knobloch, once again, still our head coach. We're still winning with Knobloch. Rick Tocchet, nothing against you, but you held us back. So it all comes down to this: a best of 7 series. Who's going to be winning the most important games? It's the Chicago Blackhawks. It's Connor Bedard. It's Noakes. It's Ravensburgen. They're going to win another Stanley Cup here, completing the three-peat, but we're blowing a 3-1 series lead in the process. Okay, that's not ideal. We didn't get to this point to blow a 3-1 series lead. We're going to score goals in game 7. It's a scoreless first period. Moving into the second, we're exchanging goals. Connor Bedard, Noakes, Gavin McKenna, you've led us to this point right here. Lead us to another Stanley Cup. Stand tall when it matters most. 3 goals, but none of them are going to be coming from our top line. It's coming from the second line. Our second line stepping up when it matters most. Bedard, Gavin McKenna, and Noakes got shut down, but it doesn't matter. We're still taking home Stanley Cups. It's our 3rd in a row. I believe that's Connor Bedard's 5th Stanley Cup. We really can't be stopped here. It's another Stanley Cup for the Chicago Blackhawks. Our 3rd in a row. We completed the three-peat. McKenna 30 points, Connor Bedard 28, Noakes 27, Foote 23, Korostin's picking up 22, Ravensburgen, I know you were the guy, 16 wins, 2 shots, a 9-12 and a 258. We're going to keep on running it back with you. Another Stanley Cup means another Conn Smythe for Connor Bedard. He might not have led the team in scoring, but you know what? Those 18 goals were big, and it actually doesn't look like he took home the Conn Smythe. Gavin McKenna, did you take home the Conn Smythe over Connor Bedard? I mean, I wouldn't be against it, and it looks like you did. 5 Stanley Cups for McKenna, 2 Conn Smythes. I think they should have gave that to Bedard. Like, yeah, it's a 2-point difference, but it's a 15-goal difference. And without Bedard, this doesn't happen. So Bedard's got his 5th Stanley Cup. He had 4 game winners in the postseason. But you know what? We're going to keep on winning, because we're going to bring the 1st overall pick to our team, because I know we're going to have a top pick. Never mind. We got the 6th overall, the 7th overall, the 9th overall, and the 14th overall. We could trade up to number 1, and it wouldn't be that difficult. Now, there's no elite prospect projected number 1. However, I wouldn't be against moving into the top 5 here. Like, we have a couple picks that would allow us to move into the top 5. We might as well do so. So So what we're going to do is the 6th overall pick, the 128th overall, and the 160th overall over to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we're moving up to 4. They're actually saying no to that. I can give you one of our later first round picks. Like, I can give you the 29th overall if you give me a future pick. Like, if you give me a future second rounder, then I think this is a pretty fair deal. I want to move into the top 4. They're saying no. I'll take out the second round pick. We're getting this one done. Now we're trading for the 5th overall, because if we can move into the top 5, we're looking at 2 medium elite potential players. I'll trade the 4th overall and I'll trade the 28th overall. This is a really good deal. They're actually probably fleecing us in this deal, but I trade the wrong pick. I just traded the 4th overall, didn't I? I am so dumb. I was not paying attention. I traded the 4th overall pick to get the 5th overall pick. I am so incredibly stupid. What picks am I trading? I'm trading the 7th overall and the 19th overall. I am the biggest idiot of all time. Oh, that's a stick on the ice moment for sure. I really traded the 4th overall pick and the 29th overall pick to get the 5th overall pick. I'm an idiot. I'm a very stupid person. We're getting a 78 overall defenseman, and then where are we going to draft here? Another defenseman. So we're getting 2 defensemen here, both of them being left defensemen. I'm perfectly fine with that. But no, I'm an idiot. I am very, very stupid. What was I cooking up? And you know what? We actually might not be done cooking yet. The Anaheim Ducks had the 1st overall pick. You're going to give me the guy you drafted 1st overall. And we still have a lot of first round picks, including the 9th overall and the 14th overall. Are both of these picks going to be enough for the guy that got drafted 1st overall? Yes, they will be. But of course, we're not done with medium elite potential players yet. We have a medium elite potential forward, a medium elite potential defenseman. We need a medium elite potential goaltender. So what's going to happen here is all of these guys on expiring deals are going to be leaving the team. Nobody's looking to re-sign. That's perfectly fine, because we have a lot of unsigned players that are ready to make the jump. Now, Corostin, you've been a big time player for us and you're an important piece to our top 6, but how much are you going to be looking for? 14.1. I can't do that. You'll be traded away. When it comes to Tulala, we can't do this either. 9.7 million. I mean, 9.7 we could probably do, but we actually can't do that. What if I gave you no movement? I don't think that gives you enough money. I don't think you're interested in that, but you know what? I gotta offer it. I need to offer this over to you. I need to know whether or not that's gonna be enough money. If not, we're just gonna ride out your contract. This is elite. Tulula, I cannot thank you enough for accepting that contract right there. That makes things very easy for us. Now, 3 cups in a row isn't enough for me. Connor Bedard, you need a couple more before you retire, and that could be sooner than we think. 95 overall, but he only has elite potential now. He's starting to regress. The regression can happen quick in this game. I've seen it time and time again. But you know what else can happen? A couple more Stanley Cups. We have all the pieces we need. Let's go get a few more. So the Blackhawks continue to be the best team in the entire league. Another 60 win season, 62 wins to be exact. Noakes is going to lead us with 124 points. Connor Bedard, 70 goals, 45 assists. Bro is literally him. Still 95 overall, still has elite potential. The first line's still looking great. Outside the first line, we saw a bit of a fall off, but who really cares? The first line is what wins us Stanley Cups here. Ravensburg is what wins us Stanley Cup. We're going to continue to ride or die by these guys. We're taking on the Seattle Kraken in the first round. I'm not concerned. If you were to ask me a decade ago if I was terrified of our first round matchup, the answer would have been yes, because we were constantly falling in the first round year after year. Not anymore. We've won 3 straight Stanley Cups. We're winning game number 1 9-2. This team has figured out how to win. We might be dropping game number 3, but that's not the end of the world, because we're going to win game number 4. We're going to take a 3-1 series lead, and then we're going to close it out in game 5 and move on to the second round, because that's what this Chicago Blackhawks team is all about. So we took down Seattle. You already know what we're about here. We're going to take down Utah. We're going to beat either LA or Vegas, and then we're going to beat whoever we face in the Stanley Cup Final. Very rarely do you ever see me have this much confidence in a team, but the Chicago Blackhawks have just been so good for such a long period of time. I think they've actually figured out how to win here. In the first 10 years, this team didn't know how to win. All they knew how to do was lose games, so that's all they did. They just kept on losing and losing, but we know how to win now. 8-1 in the postseason. We're moving on to the conference finals. Nobody's really put up that much of a fight. We have the LA Kings up next. I'm expecting LA to put up a fight here because they made all the way to the conference finals, but I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't put up a fight whatsoever. We have a 3-1 series lead. The only game that's really been competitive is game number 4, but now we draw back-to-back games. We're not going to drop 3 in a row. I know the team's not about that. We're in the Stanley Cup Final to take on Philly. 4 Stanley Cups would be an amazing way to finish this off, but you know what would be even better? 7 straight Stanley Cups, and then Connor Bedard retires when he's like 37, because he's still not overly old yet. He still has time to win a couple more cups, and that's what we're going to do here after we win game number 5. We're Stanley Cup champions once again. After we win game number 6, we're going to close it out here. All right, we're doing this again. We're in game 7. Last season, we almost blew a 3-1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final. This season, we're about to blow a 3-1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final, and unless this team wakes up, we might be doing that we're doing that. We are going to blow a 3-1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final in Game 7. That's heartbreaking. See, this is why I shouldn't have faith in our team. I had faith in this team, and then we blew a 3-1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final. Every time I think I have something good going on here, every time I think this team is finally going to win 10 straight Stanley Cups, we fall apart. Noakes 28 points, Gavin McKenna 24, Connor Bedard 23. It's heartbreaking. What can I say? Connor Bedard, 34 years old, might not have too many years left. Ravensburgen was an absolute superstar, 14 wins, 2 shouts, a 920 and a 220. We should have won a Stanley Cup with him. We should have got him a Stanley Cup here. But not only did we let him down, we let everyone down. There's nothing that can really make up for this, unless we get the first overall pick, which we're not getting. So yeah, nothing makes up for it. You know what? I think I know what let us down. It was the fact that we didn't have a true right winger on this team. Like, I don't even think we have any right wingers on this team. We have one in Howe. But outside of that, we don't really have right wingers here. So what are we going to do? We're going to trade for a right winger by getting the first overall pick, which is going to be a franchise potential right winger. We're a little bit off here. I'll give you the 30th overall pick from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that'll be enough to get this trade done. So let's bring in another franchise potential player because we don't have enough of those. When you have so many draft picks and so many elite potential players, rebuilding a team is easy. Yeah, 83 overall franchise potential. Nothing to complain about. So not too much is happening in the re-sign phase. I'm going to sign this 88 overall to his entry-level contract. Just want to say that. Entry-level contract for an 88 overall. I think we'll be okay. And then we'll sign the rest of these guys and we'll be alright. So you remember how a couple seasons ago I said you never want to allow players to just leave your team and not get anything for them? Well, for the first time in history, I'm actually going to be doing that. Barnett, Pickard, I'm not bringing you back to the team next season, but I think we can win another Stanley Cup with you guys here. So I'm going to hold on to you guys for this season. You're going to walk in free agency. Even this RFA, we're just going to write out his contract, let him walk into free agency. How? I think it's actually time for you to join the team. So I'll give you your entry level contract, 1.1 million. Welcome to the team. When it comes to basically everyone else though, they're likely going to be walking. Now I would say that this is a tough decision, but it's not a tough decision. Ravensburgen, I do not care what overall you are. We are going to ride or die with you. I'll give you a no movement as well as a no trade, 50% team protection, just so we can get that contract down a little bit more. I would like to do $7 million, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that. 7.4 for the next 4. Yes, you're 33 years old. Yes, you're aging out on me, but you know what? You've been that guy for us. Now, it's kind of funny. Over the past couple of years, I've just been working towards building an incredible top 6, and then the bottom 6 just has to be defensive players. 88 overall, 87 overall, 85 overall. How did this happen? I have no clue, but you know what? I've done a pretty good job drafting, and that's basically how all this has happened. Ravensburgen, you're an 85 overall. You no longer have any X factors, but you know what you can still do for us? Stop the puck and win a Stanley Cup. So let's go get another. No, I'm absolutely heartbroken about this season. I'm not heartbroken about 64 wins, because that's amazing. Or even Noakes leading the way with 115 points. But this is heartbreaking. Connor Bedard, for the first time in a long time, you're not a 100-point player for me. You've dropped to a 91 overall, top 6 potential. This could potentially be your final season for all I know. Sometimes players retire when they're 91 overalls. Others retire when they're 71 overalls. You just never know when a great such as Connor Bedard's going to call it. When it comes to goaltending, Ravensburgen, you're still doing your thing here. It doesn't matter how old you are or what overall you are, you're going to show up when it matters. We're taking on the San Jose Sharks in the first round. You already know what this team does. The Chicago Blackhawks have come a long ways in this video. In the first 10 years, this team couldn't do anything right. Like, no matter what we do, we just lost in the first round every time. But over the last 10 years, we've been winning Stanley Cups. I believe we have 5 Stanley Cups. Hold on, we dropped the first 2 games. I gotta chill for a second. Yeah, we've been successful recently, but we might lose in the first round to the San Jose Sharks. We are not losing in the first round to the San Jose Sharks after winning 64 games. We can't do that here. We're winning game number 5. That's great. Win game 6 as well, and then we go into game 7 and we make the comeback in this series. We're not falling to the Sharks. I'm sorry, but I don't get to tell a story about how in the past 10 years, we've been one of the greats in the league. And the 10 years before that, we were always losing in the first round. Only for this team to lose in the first round in one of Connor Bedard's final seasons. We need a big time third period here. And what are we doing? Ain't no way. We didn't see that. Nope, that didn't happen. Back in 2025, we went through a 7 or 8 year stretch where we were always losing in the first round. And then over the past 10 years, we've been one of the best teams in the NHL, never losing in the first round. All always making deep pushes, 5 Stanley Cups in the last 10 years, 6 Stanley Cup Final appearances. I take that back. It's actually been 7 Stanley Cup Final appearances because we lost in Game 7 one year, and then I forget what happened the other year. We won a Stanley Cup, lost a Stanley Cup, then won a Stanley Cup. All I know is we've made 7 Stanley Cup appearances in the last 10 to 12 years. The first 7 years before that, they were rough and we don't talk about. So the Ottawa Senators are Stanley Cup champions. That's not the Chicago Blackhawks, and that's not Connor Bedard. I'm concerned on this man retiring on us. Like, there is a very good chance Connor Bedard calls it a career here. We're getting the 16th overall pick from the Toronto Maple Leafs, but that means nothing. Connor Bedard, are you going to call it a career here? You better return for another season. You can't call it quite yet. Thankfully, he is going to be returning. He's got a couple more good years left in him. All right, I wasn't expecting to get anything in this draft, but who is Marty Pope? 77 overall, medium top 6 potential. He's only 17 years old. We're getting this guy 28th overall. That's an absolute steal. Now we're going to be losing a couple grades here. Barnett, Pickard, both of you guys are leaving the team. Both of you guys are 90 overalls, but we just don't have the money for you. I mean, we have $15 million, but we have to spend that $15 million elsewhere. Letang, you're joining the team, $1.1 million on your entry-level contract. Pacioretty, you're going to join the team on your entry-level contract, 79 overall. You can play some minutes for me. We're bringing in some cheap replacements, that's for sure. So we got to pick up a really cheap player here, so we're going to get Ramo from the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's on his entry-level contract for the next 3 years. Our RFA is not going to be enough, so I'll throw in a 7th-round pick. And this actually might be the first time in a long time where we're not going to have any first-round picks outside of ours. The fall-off's really begun. So I'm just looking for some cheap players in free agency. Irwin, you're definitely one of them. 1.9 for the next 3 years. That's an absolute steal. Like, look at some of these other forwards. We're looking at like 81, 82 overall forwards, 4.8 million. You're an 81 overall. 5.2 million. You're an 81 overall. This is why rebuilds 20 years into this game are impossible. And then when it comes to defensemen, this is even worse. Like, he's 25 years old, a 79 overall, 7.5 million. You're bugging. I'm gonna go with the 31-year-old in Burnett, 1.3 million for the next 2. That's a way better contract. Okay, so we do need to bring one of these centermen back. Afina Genov, I think I'd rather go with you here. So hopefully you're willing to sign something reasonable. 14 million isn't that reasonable, but I think I'll give it to you because you are a big time player for us. Von Fersen, yours is actually a little bit better. I think it's a year longer too, so maybe we stick with you. I mean, I take that back. It's the same length of contract. Afina Genov, I'm going to go with you. We'll do 13.6 million for the next 5 years. If you're willing to accept that, that's great. If not, we'll qualify you as an RFA and trade you away. Anyways, this is the team we're looking at. Connor Bedard has dropped to an 89 overall. He still has top 6 potential. I'm fully expecting this to be his final season, but if this is going to be his final year, one more Stanley Cup. And if we're winning a Stanley Cup, Ravensburgen has to be the guy. He has to return to his prime, back to his 87 overall form with his 3 X factors. When he was that guy, we were winning Stanley Cups. We have 5 cups with him. He has 7 Vezinas, 9 William Jennings. How about you add one more of each to your legacy? Now, whether or not this is the last dance or not, there's one thing you have to know about the Chicago Blackhawks. They are the greatest team of all time. Over the past 10 years, maybe even over the past 15 years, nobody has been able to compete with the Blackhawks. I think we've won like 10 straight President's trophies. We've been that team. Noakes 105 points. Connor Bedard 103. Gavin McKenna fell off big time. Only 80 points from him this season. What has happened to our great king? I guess he's not that guy anymore. Meanwhile, Connor Bedard, 87 overall. You have some good years left in you, but it's all up to you. If you want to call it a career, you can call it a career. But Josh Ravensburg, 52 wins, 10 shots, a 908 and a 236. You deserve one more. We ride or die with Ravensburg. We know what he can do for us. Now, like, this Blackhawks team has truly been something special over the past 10 years. But in reality, they haven't won as many Stanley Cups as they probably should have. 5 Stanley Cups for Connor Bedard is great. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like we should have 8 or 9 by now. Maybe I'm just being unreasonable, but I just feel like this team should have more cups. Like, in the first 8 years, we were just complete and utter frauds, but recently we've kind of been figuring it out. Then again, we lost in the first round last season, so what can I really say here? We're moving into game number 6. It's a must-win game for us, and we're going to be winning that one 6-0. And you know what? Let's just keep the momentum going here. Like, when we keep the momentum going for the Chicago Blackhawks team, they find a way to keep on winning, so I'm hoping that's going to continue here. We're dropping game number 1, but responding in game 2. We're looking to win game 3, and that's exactly what we're doing. 3 straight wins. Can we make it 4 against Utah? If we win this game, we're in the conference finals, and I think Chicago's going to do that after they win game number 6, because we're going to drop game 5, because why would we not drop game number 5? We're closing it out in Game 6. We're 8-4 in the postseason. Maybe not the greatest record in the world, but who cares? We're in the conference finals, and Seattle's up next. I'm not really too sure if Seattle can compete with us, but then again, I don't even know what Seattle's record is. Maybe they're one of the best teams in the entire league. Clearly not. We're taking them down to sweep, and we're back in the Stanley Cup Final where we belong. Chris Knoblauch, you are the greatest coach of all time. 5 Stanley Cups since you joined the team, but we're going to make it 6 here. I really wish I could look at how long Chris Knoblauch's been with our team. Maybe I can, but ever since this man joined, we've been absolutely unstoppable. One more victory and we're Stanley Cup champions, and that's exactly what we are. Connor Bedard's taking home another Stanley Cup and likely another Conn Smythe, but maybe not because Noakes looked pretty good. 11 goals, 21 assists, 32 points. He's definitely the Conn Smythe winner, but we can't sleep on Bedard here. 12 goals, 13 assists, 25 points, but he's lost his X factors. He's an 85 overall. His role as a second line forward. Nah, Bedard, I think you have to retire here. You can't be remembered as a second line forward in your final years. You have to be remembered as that guy that helped the Chicago Blackhawks win another Stanley Cup here. And then Ravensburg, you're arguably the greatest goaltender of all time. Like, how many wins do you have right now? 636? I think you might have broke the record. An unbreakable record might have just been broken here with most wins by a goaltender. Not quite. Joshua Ravensburg, 633. You're 60 wins away from Marty Brodeur. You can definitely break it. Now, Bedard, is completely up to you. Do you want to call it a career and retire on top, one of the greatest of all time, or do you want to run it back for one more season, and do you want to try to get one more cup with this Chicago Blackhawks team? It all comes down to this right here. Bedard's done. He's had an incredible career, but he's just not ready to play anymore. 85 overall, top 6 potential in 1,544 games played, 1,109 goals, 837 assists for over 1,900 points. He was drafted first overall. Jack Hughes played till he was 41, so you really never knew what was going to happen with Connor Bedard, but he's going to call it earlier than he probably should. Like, Bedard, I think you still have a bit more in you. Jack Hughes, you're 41 years old. Like, Jack Hughes, I'm going to be honest, I have no clue why you're retiring. You're an 88 overall with still a first line role and top 6 potential. I kind of understand why Connor Bedard's retiring. Like, he's regressed really quick over the past 3 years, but you, nope, you've been that guy. Before we end this video though, we have to look at the awards for Connor Bedard. 6 Stanley Cups, 3 Conn Smythes, 3 Harts, 3 Ted Lindsays, an Art Ross, a 5-time Rocket winner, and a Calder Memorial Trophy back in 2023-2024. Connor Bedard was that guy for his entire career, and I gave him the career that he deserved.